Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. All right, you're there.
Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, test, test.
Are the MHSAA, a collection of 750 high schools and 750 middle schools, from Temperance to Copper Harbor, from New Buffalo to Alpena. Each year, more than 250,000 students play one of our 28 sports. More than 1.5 million fans attend our postseason games. There are 30,000 coaches and 8,000 officials, not to mention all of the volunteers. The MHSAA believes in the 4 S's. School sports should be safe and kept in the appropriate scope. We believe nothing beats great sportsmanship, and that scholarship in the classroom is more important than excellence on the field or court. Most of all, we believe school sports should be fun. So come out and join us at a game. Support your school, support your community, and come see what the excitement is all about.
Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
Bulldog Stadium is back open for business and on brand new turf as well. This is Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, and CT for the Granville Bulldogs. It's as tough of a start schedule-wise as anyone in the state of Michigan has. It started last week with a tough loss, a heartbreaking loss to Pickerington North. You add in today a real state title threat that they see in Davison, a team that beat them last year at Davison. So in that regard, it's a night looking for revenge on multiple fronts for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, definitely. Things don't get any easier for the Bulldogs. Another tough matchup here in Week 2, one that got away from them last year in their matchup. Davison able to take control of that football game and run away with a little bit, so the Bulldogs looking for some revenge there, trying to right the things that went wrong, and also, as you mentioned, the heartbreaking loss last week, one that they felt that they had 30 seconds to go, had the lead, and one that got away there as well. And so, but Davison, a tough loss last week as well. So I think both of these teams kind of come in tonight hoping to turn their seasons around in Week 2.
It's a couple of hungry teams. Whoever loses this game will probably be the best 0-2 team for sure in the state of Michigan, but both teams, of course, looking to avoid that here tonight. We have a ton to get to on our Bennett Center Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show, including a great interview with Granville star junior running back Jayden Terry, who had 5 touchdowns in the tight loss a week ago. We'll hear from Jayden in just a minute. A lot to get to here on Game Night. By Farmers Insurance.
Important things aren't worth compromising. It's
the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats. Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Game Night is presented in part by Farmers Insurance, Bennett Center Agency, for all auto, home, specialty, life, and commercial insurance. See what a center can do for you.
Was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation.
We customize the portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
All right, welcome back, everyone, to Game Night. Really excited to welcome on our first for a couple different football seasons, our first repeat guest here in terms of the athletes. Granville now junior running back Jaden Terry. Tank joins us here on the podcast and on the pregame show. Jaden, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, and I feel so weird like being a junior now that you say that.
Well, you make us feel well. So the worst part is I'm already getting old, but like the fact that we saw your brother come up as a sophomore, him do 3 years, then you follow, and now here you are already a junior. It's starting to make me feel real old real quick, and I don't quite know what happened. So that's one thing I don't fully appreciate yet at this point in time either. But we're gonna get through it. The 3 years certainly have gone by quickly watching you play, and you started off your junior campaign in quite the fashion. 5 touchdowns, of course, the ultimately heartbreaking loss to a team that's as good as any team is what you guys are going to see, period, in the state of Michigan. But I guess just kind of take us through that game, take us through it from your perspective, the 5 touchdowns, the heat. What were some of your main takeaways from that game as a team? Obviously the tough loss, but a good individual performance, and a lot of good individual performances on the whole for the team.
Yeah, it was a very hot day. Going through that whole day, I just knew it was going to be hot. So it was just something we had to prepare for. Every single time I came off that field, I saw this red maroon cooler, and I would just put my face in it, and it was the biggest relief ever. I swear, that was probably the only reason why I was back on that field the next drive. But yeah, it was just staying to it, making sure I do my thing. Didn't really matter how much I got tired. I was just hoping, we would get that win because it is a really good team, and that would really put us on the map for it.
Yeah, absolutely did. And even in the loss, you guys, I think, raised a lot of eyebrows with that sort of especially comeback performance. And like you said, you did do your things. 206 yards, 5 touchdowns, a couple circus act touchdowns as well. When you're scoring on those sort of weaving plays, and we've talked about your nose for the end zone, what is it that's going through your mind? Does it slow down when you're kind of on those weaving cutback runs? Does it speed up? What do you think you're kind of seeing? What's going through your head when you're in the middle of some of those long weaving touchdown runs?
Well, I'll definitely say it is 100% more slower than it was since my freshman year. I feel like it's just learning the game more and understanding it. So as I see, people over pursuing, they want to, come, try to tackle me. They probably sprint over. I mean, I just look at it as if I make one cut, these dudes are going to go the opposite direction because they're coming down so fast. So I just and also I just I want to get in the end zone, And especially at that point of the game where we really need to score and get back on defense, then yeah, that's just something I gotta do.
Yeah, and you kind of go over how the game slowed down since you were a freshman over the last couple of years, but in general, go back to this past off season. I know you came on, you put a little bit of size and muscle on as well, but what were some of the main things in your game, both physically and mentally, that you worked on this off season and were a real point of emphasis to be better for this year?
I would say getting bigger, getting more weight on me. That would definitely help me with yards after contact, stuff like that. Having to run someone over. That's something that would really help me with my game. I feel like I'm really good at the whole speed stuff, the elusiveness, stuff like that. And so adding on the more weight and being able to lower my shoulder and hit someone is something that really helps.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we actually said that when you came out for warm-ups, and I had seen that scrimmage and whatever, but you came out for warm-ups, and I'm like, oh, Jayden, we knew that you had worked on trying to get a little bit bigger in the offseason. Like, okay, Jayden has added that extra element now, I think, to the game. When you look at him standing next to the other running backs, he's added that size, and it's going to be that much more dangerous, especially down the stretch run and against some of the physical teams like Rockford and Caledonia and Davison. We'll talk about them in just a second. Let's kind of take a step aside from Granville, and we'll take a couple steps forward for you in terms of this recruiting process, because I know it's picked up quite a bit this summer. What are you at, 6 now Division I offers?
Yep.
Okay, so 61 offers. Visited Maryland last week. You have a Notre Dame visit on the table. Kind of just tell us about that whirlwind process, getting to travel out to Maryland, how excited you are to go to Notre Dame, and that entire recruiting process right now.
The whole recruiting process is crazy. Like, it's fun. You know, sometimes it gets frustrating, but it's just something that I got to make sure I enjoy and not try to overthink, because this is supposed to be fun. Maryland was really good. It was a hot game, and it was also a blowout. So, I mean, seeing the game wasn't the most exciting, but, you know, getting to know how Maryland is and getting to know their culture was really cool. Going on to this week for Notre Dame, I feel like, I mean, I really don't know much about them, so getting to know them would be really cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Who's Notre Dame playing this weekend?
I think it's Northern Illinois.
Okay, that makes sense. I believe.
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, regardless, that I mean, it just goes to show kind of where you're at in this I mean, Notre Dame's come and calling for, you know, you at least got to visit Notre Dame. I mean, I think that goes to show enough about where this process is at, and I think it just is going to be the beginning of some things. Kind of, we'll get back on the field a little bit. It kind of goes to show the hectic time it is to focus on that, focus on the games as well. Tell us about practice kind of so far this week and the team. How well have you been able to move on from that last win, take the positives from it, take the momentum from it, and start focusing on a Davidson team that you guys have some unfinished business against?
You know, after that loss, everybody wants to get back on that field and start showing how we really are. Davidson is a good team and a team that we lost last year. So being able to get our get back is something that we're going to have to really look forward to and really grind at practice, because it is a big week. So really just like getting everybody back into that mode and getting to learn how these guys, you know, look. So it's really just, you know, getting back into that mode.
Yeah, and I think kind of along those lines, too, the one difference this year, you now being an upperclassman, and you look at this deep running back group, you've taken on, obviously, a little bit of a leadership role, along with, you know, Easton Sadinsky, the senior, but you have the sophomore, Gavin Love, and you've got Terry versus Love 2.0. You have DJ Hardiman as well, a sophomore. Tell us about the role you've taken this year and what it's been like to step into a little bit of a leadership role, helping some younger, really, really talented guys, along with some experienced seniors like Easton, but being able to kind of help along some of those younger guys and, you know, bring all that talent into the running back group. DJ and Gavin, I love those guys. I've been playing ball with Gavin for a long time. So being able to work with him is really nice. DJ, he's a really hard runner. Like seeing him on JV last year, I knew he was good, but I did not know he could run the rock like that, bro. I did not know he could run the rock like that. So being able to work with those guys is great. Yeah, it for sure is. I know. So like Coach Stiegel, Marcel and Cam's senior year, I remember we're doing an interview at the end of the year with him, and he's like, he said, like, just listen, there's I think, what were you guys, 7th and 6th grade, whatever the time, like, they have brothers that are, like, just as good as or better. They're coming. They're playing together at this level. Just wait. And, well, son of a gun, he was right, and we certainly are seeing that. I mean, Gavin's batting 1,000 right now. He's got one varsity touch and one varsity touchdown. So, I mean, you can't do too much better than that. I guess 2, he had the 2-point conversion. So, no, I mean, it's exciting, and I know, Easton as well. The offense on the whole, humming. You guys out-earned Pickerington North by like 150 yards last week. We saw a lot of different elements mixed into the offense. One part of this weekend's Davison is you've got a little bit of a quote-unquote head-to-head matchup with AJ Hill, who is a terrific running back, another 3-star. I think you two are right there for the best running backs in the state. When you get a chance to match up against a guy that was being recruited by kind of similar schools and so forth, is there a little bit of a friendly rivalry that the two of you have now, also a second year getting to go head-to-head as kind of the leading running back roles? Me and AJ are cool. I used to talk to him a lot on social media. Okay. Sometimes we went on same camps like three times in a row. Okay. It was really funny. But yeah, me and AJ are cool.
But yeah, on the field, we're definitely going to be going head to head for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's wrap it up. Let's talk about Davison first, or to kind of finish things a little bit. Pickerington North, so much talent around the field, but probably more of a spread team, both sides of the ball, the way they normally want to play. This is a Davison team that they only scored 3 points last week, but they are physical. And, of course, you know that. You saw it last year. Both sides of the ball, they're really big up front, a little bit smaller maybe at the linebacker position. What are some of the keys that you guys are keeping in mind going into what's going to be a game against a really physical team that's also really talented, maybe a little bit of kind of a Rockford primer in that way?
Steve actually mentioned that today, how that Davidson is a real physical team, and when they went against Rockford, they just out physical them, and he felt like that was the reason why they won that game. So I feel like if we're just more physical, we could actually just beat these guys, and that's really the part of our offense. And if we step it up on defense and be more physical, then that could be the same too.
All right, absolutely. Love to hear it that I made a similar point to Coach Stiegel. That's not very rare that I make smart football points, but I'll take this one. Jayden, thank you so much for your time. Good luck Friday, and good luck the rest of the season. Thanks, and have a great evening as well.
Thank you, man.
All right, Jaden Terry here on MGN. Always great to talk to him. We'll be right back here on Game Night. Gear up this season with the MGN Shop, featuring everything from t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and outerwear, to water bottles, stickers, and other accessories that help show off your style and your support of Game Night, the Granville Bulldogs, and more. To shop, click on the Shop Merch tab at the top of MichiganGameNight.com and browse nearly 50 items. And be sure to check in frequently as new items are added throughout the season. That's the MGN Shop through MichiganGameNight.com. Rough, he'll turn, give, Terry, busting into the open field, there he goes, Jayden Terry, Granville with an answer, and another Bulldog lead. Give the Scurry's fake, this in the backfield, evading a man, throws out of a tackle, incomplete. Zeros across the scoreboard. Harper Woods have won the state championship, their first in school history, in unbelievable, thrilling fashion. Fake handoff, guy up the middle, big hole, bursting over the 40 to the 45-50, angling right at the 40, 35-30, racing to the 25, 20, outside the numbers, 10, 5, touchdown, Muskegon, Mackay guy, 80 yards to the house. And welcome back inside Bulldog Stadium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. This is the Bennett Center Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show, and this is Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio, getting that much closer to kickoff here at Bulldog Stadium CT. And we've already gotten through warm-ups. We've seen the way this game's setting up, and we've got so much to get to. But this contest, we talked about that revenge factor at the open of the broadcast. This is a pair of teams, both losers the first week of the year, but among still the best teams in the state. This is going to be as intense of a game and as hungry of a game as you're going to find between these two teams who are going to be fighting for playoff position, both with very tough schedules, and it starts this week.
Yeah, I think both of these teams, they look at their schedule at the beginning of the season, you see a lot of really tough opponents on there, and of course both these teams you mentioned suffering losses in week one, and so now we're trying to, right away in week two, try to get that win under your belt, get things turned around. Still, obviously a lot of season left, so if you can turn things around here, you can be feeling pretty good even after that week one loss.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And I mean, two teams that lost in very different ways the first week of the year. For Granville, they scored 51 points and losing a heartbreaker with a last-second field goal to Pickerington North in Ohio. It was a 20-1-3 loss. De La Salle completely controlling and keeping Davison out of the end zone the first week of the year. So two teams with very different feelings in that regard heading into this one this evening. And let's get into this week's edition of Chandler's Chalkboard and the keys to the game. Let's start with Granville CT. don't break the script. No turnovers, no special teams mistakes, stay on schedule. It's frankly why they lost last week with the fumble, and actually a big part of why they lost this game last year as well, with a fumble and with some mistakes, losing trick plays and just getting off script.
Yeah, I think that's so big. It always is for the Bulldogs, but you saw it last week. If they stay to their game plan and stay on script, they can play with just about any team. You saw it even against the star power and the talent. Pickerington North last week, when they played clean football on the offensive end, didn't turn the football over, and let their defense go to work and try to at least have a chance to get a stop, and instead of the special teams errors and some of the mistakes that we saw, they can really play a complete game and keep themselves in it, even against some really talented opponents.
For Davison winning up front, they're going to have a size advantage. There's some injuries we'll talk about in a bit with the Bulldogs as well, but they're going to have a real size advantage on both sides of the line of scrimmage. If Davison can control that line of scrimmage like they want to, that certainly puts this team in a very good position. They have huge names like Ben Nichols, the Alabama, and everyone else offered 4-star on offense. They have a terrific defensive line with a couple of 300-pounders that they can throw out there as well. So they've got the size advantage. They need to find a way to physically match Granville up front, because that's where their advantage is this year, especially on defense. The linebackers may not be as much of an advantage as in years past.
Yeah, I think we saw it in last year's matchup between these two teams. Is this Davison team was willing to match the physicality of the Bulldogs, and even though they're a bit more of a spread offense, they still run a lot of power spread stuff. They like to use their tight ends. They run the ball physically. On defense, they've always had really physical play as well from their linebackers and along that defensive line. So even though they might not have some of the 3-4 stars as many as what Granville saw last week, they still are willing to lean into that physicality a little bit more and kind of go head-to-head right against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, again, Pickerington North somewhere 14 or 15 Division I players. And lastly, take the over. I'm not sure if we can say that, so if we can, I apologize to the mhsaa. But take the over. I think we're going to have another high-scoring game. These two teams traded points, especially in the second half after a grinding first quarter. But this Granville offense, against all the talent against Pickerington North, they move the ball like crazy. We know that Davison's got a lot of talent. They're hungry against a Granville defense that still is morphing and getting into what they want to be under new defensive coordinator Casey Zenner. This is a game that it might turn into have the ball last to score, and both teams might be in the 30s or even the 40s, even with a little bit slower game than what we saw last week.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think, of course, the Bulldogs offense feels really good after putting up 50 points last week. Expect them to continue rolling there. The Davison offense only scored 3 points last week, but you'll see the names, and we've talked about some of them already. They've got playmakers. That's not a true representation of what they're going to be as a unit throughout the course of the season. They're going to be able to put up points as well. And so I think these defenses both really going to be challenged to try to find ways to get off the field here tonight. Whoever can find the most stops, 1 or 2, it might be all it takes. But if they can find those, their team's going to be sitting pretty good.
All right, here come the Granville Bulldogs as the home crowd is ready to go. The home opener on the new turf here at Bulldog Stadium. And here come the Dogs, 0-1 on the year after a heartbreaking loss a week ago, but what a contest it was, led by Jayden Terry, Chandler, who we talk about all the time, quite possibly the best running back in the state of Michigan. And for Jayden, 24 attempts, 206 yards, 5 touchdowns, some really impressive touchdowns mixed in as well. It was maybe the best game we've ever seen out of Jayden Terry, and that's saying a lot.
It really is. Strong out of the gate for Jayden Terry in week 1, and pretty balanced throughout that backfield in the first half, but you could tell the Bulldogs leaning on him pretty heavily there in the second half as they're trying to keep pace in a shootout-type game. And so I think another chance here for Jayden to have a really big game if they choose to lean on him once again.
All right, National Anthem is on deck. We'll step aside. Thanks for tuning in to the Bennett Center Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. We'll be right back here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Granville Davison, week 2, one of the best games in the state of
Jets has been making the best Detroit-style pizza on the planet for over 40 years. Because we've always been committed to quality, like hand-pressed dough, fresh mozzarella, and sauce made from Mama Jet's secret family recipe. All baked to perfection for the thickest golden crunch. So go ahead, build your own Detroit-style pizza or order one of our specialties, like the all-meaty or Jet 10. Jets, better because it has to be.
Hey sports fans, my name is Ava, and I go to Cityside Middle School, which is just a couple doors down from Coldwell Banker, where my mom, Angela Reed, works. She has been a top-ranked realtor for several years and loves to help people. If you are looking to buy or sell a home in West Michigan, be sure to call my mom, Angela Reed, at 231-730-2274. That is Angela Reed at 231-730-2274. Have a great day.
And let's take a look As I mentioned over the phone, wear and tear.
Oh man, they're never gonna buy this thing. Wear and tear? Well, there's the coffee stain on the seat. It needs new brakes. All four wheels squeak. The passenger door doesn't even have a handle. Not to mention that one time I went to my uncle's farm and backed up into a truck full of shit.
Should about cover it. You're all set.
Oh.
Don't overthink it. Seller to Weller. 167 horsepower, candy red, 8 cylinders of freedom. And to think, he only let me drive it once. I've never considered myself to be a lucky man. That would be Dad. He didn't know a thing about cars, couldn't tell a hatchback from a quarterback. But somehow his just kept going, and going, and going, and going. Turns out Dad wasn't lucky. He just knew where to look.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
All right, welcome back to Granville. National Anthem is in the books. Captain's on the field. You see one of our talking points in there as well. Granville's key right tackle, the senior Jay Weiss, one of the captains, out tonight. He's got that boot on the left leg. So Weiss out for this evening. We'll talk a little bit about how that's going to change things, of course, for the Bulldogs in just a moment. CT's going to change things a lot. But also, right before we get things kicked off here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio, want to remind you this week's Family Fair Tailgate Special is fresh, all natural, boneless pork chops. Buy one and get one 50% off. Thanks to Centennial Securities, as well as the Bennett Center Farmers Insurance Agency, presenting sponsors of game night. Going back to the coin toss, Davison won the toss, and they decided to send their dangerous return unit out on the field to open up this ball game. Wesley Hughes, along with Cortez Porter, who are both very quick and dangerous weapons, and Jake Kiernan, who had himself quite the week a week ago, CT, including that onside kick that he was able to get recovered that gave the Bulldogs a great chance to win that football game. We'll get ready to boot it away. It's the home opener. Also, it's one of my favorite nights of the year for the Bulldogs. It's throwback jersey night for the Bulldogs, as they are just about ready to get this one underway on the brand new turf. Throwback jerseys, but brand new turf surface here at Bulldog Stadium, and we're always so excited for this first trip back to Granville each season. Kiernan will get ready to send it away. This is one of the best games you're going to find, period, in the state this week. They put on a show last year as the ball has come off the turf a couple times. It's not that breezy out there, I have to say. There's a little bit of a breeze. You saw it in our intro at the start of the game, but Jake Kiernan will get it set after a little bit of a delay, and we are ready to go here on game night. Kiernan strides it through over the head of Cortez Porter, and that will bring out the Davison offense, Chandler, which is a little bit different looking unit than what we saw a year ago, especially at the quarterback position. Jackson Dosh will lead the way for them offensively. The junior, a great athlete, Western Michigan offer already on the table. Good passer, but especially with his legs, brings a different element alongside the dangerous tailback, AJ Hill.
Definitely adds a dual threat element to that backfield that still can get the football out to his targets, some of the playmakers that they've got out there, but they also like when he's able to run the football, he can move the pocket, he can escape the pocket, and also use his legs on some designed runs.
Add in the left tackle, Ben Nichols. He's got somewhere around 20 Division I offers, a 4-star, 310 pounds. He'll anchor. They start 3 wide, and they start with the H-back out of the pistol. That's Sharkin at the H, and the Ferris State committed tailback A.J. Hill, who is as good as it gets in the state of Michigan, will get the fake of the first touch. Dosh will fire down the field, overthrown. That was Brown in coverage as Dosh is off the mark trying to find Cortez Porter on that first throw of the ball game. On the other side, Chandler, this Granville defense coming into this one, the one late storyline, Jay Weiss, of course, out, but for the Bulldogs, this linebacking core, it's experienced. They bring back the unit from a year ago that played in this game, and in particular, Reed Graverson coming back from injury and starting this ball game for the Bulldogs at middle linebacker. Back to work again, 3 wide set. Braylon Naves, the Central Michigan commit, goes in motion, and they'll swing it to him at the 20-yard line. Breaking away from Naraki before Braylon Haney cuts it up. Ball is on the turf. Naves is the first one back on it. It'll be a 3rd down and about 2 coming up right here for Davison after that dangerous quick moment on the little throw out into the flat to Naves, the dangerous senior.
Yeah, both first 2 snaps of the game, Davison showing that little zone read look. Both times Dash has kept it and then gone to the passing route. That time just a short throw, gets it out quickly. Lets Naves, the playmaker, try to make a move out on the outside. Gets enough yardage there to make this a 3rd manageable.
After a quick look again there at the Granville defense, we'll align things out of a 4 wide set with that trips bunch to the far side of the field. Dogs bringing a 3 down front this time. They changed their front a lot in the second half, and Dash will run it on 3rd and 2. He's got the first down by a couple of yards before Emery Moody made the encompassing tackle, but a chain mover there from Dash who shows off his legs to help move the chains just like we mentioned, CT.
Yeah, designed power quarterback run right there. Never even a thought of handing that one off or looking to throw the ball down the field. Tucks it right away. Able to pick up the necessary yardage.
Near side in the slot to the left, Peyton Coakley. He's a tight end / a slot receiver, 6'2", 235. He does a little bit of everything. He was great last year against the Bulldogs in the game at Davidson. We'll keep our eye on him all day long as well. Cutting away, AJ Hill leveled after a gain of 2 by Reed Graverson. He was able to shut off the first tackle from the junior Demarion Carter, but Graverson back in it. How much the Bulldogs love having Reed Graverson right back in the middle of the defense, CT.
Yeah, just really important to have him there in the middle of that defense, a physical player, guy that can be a leader out there. Carter had a shot at Hill in the backfield. Hill able to slip it just enough, but got a nice job by Moody. They're able to clean it.
This is a 2nd down and 8 from the 35-yard line. Bulldogs again a 3 down front. Dash throws, able to hit Naves, and he'll shake his way for the first down before he's escorted out by the junior Jaden Brown. The short hitters, along with the quarterback run game, matriculating the ball. It feels a lot like the first half a year ago right now.
Yeah, it sure does. Right there, just recognizing the coverage and the safety playing way off along that right sideline. Dash saw it the whole way. Naves will come back route on the outside and hits him as soon as he turns.
Long look to the sideline. AJ Hill, Ferris State commit, 3-star, though. He's going to be incredible, I have to say, in Tony Anese's offense next season. Granville changing up that defensive front. They'll go 4 down linemen. Once again, it's Emery Moody lined up over Ben Nichols, the big matchup to the left side of the offensive line. Hill will quick throw to Naves, and that was out of the reach, and Naves took a bit of a shot from Garrett Naraki on the end of it as well. It'll be 2nd down and 10 right back at the 45-yard line. Couple passes a little off the mark for Dash on those quick hitters to start.
Yeah, just a little upfield there, very similar to the exact play they just ran, a little curl route on the outside. This one more of a 5-yard curl instead of the 10 you saw from Naves a second ago, but the timing and the throw just off on that one. Receiver didn't have a chance to corral it.
So we back to the short gun, and they bring Charkin, the outside linebacker, and H back in for a little bit more of a power look right here. This is Hill up the middle, and he is engulfed with nowhere to go. It's Braylon Haney, first in on the contact, loss of a yard, 3rd and 11. Granville pretty stymieing right now on the inside of the defense. Any inside run, Hill's been met in the backfield on his couple of attempts.
Yeah, really nice job. A couple times now, the Bulldogs' defensive line able to immediately get into the backfield on those straight handoffs to Hill. As soon as he's getting the football, he's getting met in the backfield. Even though he slipped a tackle on the first one, not able to escape that one in the backfield.
3rd and 11, Jackson Dash, 121 yards and interception a week ago in the 21-3 loss. We'll go to work on the first 3rd and long. Fake give, throwing in the flat, hauled in by Hughes, cuts it up for a first down and more over the 40. Shook the tackle from the late arriving Jeremiah Morales. And he's able to move the chains, but there is a penalty marker down on the field, kind of around where he made that grab originally. Let's see what this is going to be. It looks like it might be on the Cardinals and coming back.
Yeah, right around the area where Hughes was able to break free in that secondary. We'll see if it was before the catch or after.
Jaden Terry coming in defensively for Reed Graverson right here. Coach Stiegel says he can start on 9 positions on defense. Looks like the Cardinals are going back here. Head coach Jake Weingart's on the field, getting in his arguments on the other side of Coach Stiegel for the Bulldogs. 11th season for Eric Stiegel, new defensive coordinator, KC Center, getting the defense changed up right here, as this will take quite a bit of yardage off of this once we get things settled out. Going to be about a 3rd and 15. It will be a 3rd and 15 off the penalty that sprung that, the holding penalty that sprung that play free. 4 wide set. The isolated man left is Wesley Hughes, the senior wideout who we just saw make what would have been that chain-moving grab. 8:40 to go on 3rd and 15. Dosh throws in the flat, caught by Peyton Coakley, and he gets cut up by Miguel Rojas. 4th down. Granville defense to the aid of that last penalty will come up with a stop, and we will in all likelihood, with the long distance needed, see the Davison punt unit come on the field, but maybe not. Looks like the offense on 4th and 8 going to stay out there, so an early decision here just down their own side of the field for Coach Weingartz.
Yeah, that play call on 3rd down, throwing that underneath route to Coakley, just picking up 5 or 6 yards. Almost seemed like Davison knew going into it if they were able to hit on that one. They had a play call that they like here on 4th and 9.
All right, 4th and 9, 8 minutes to go, first quarter. They'll spread the field again. This time it's Braylon Naves isolated all on that short side of the field. AJ Hill remains in. Bulldogs showing some pressure off either end. Low snap settled by Dosh across his body. Firing deep, looking for Porter, able to tap the toes, make the grab, and a chain mover on 4th and 8 deep down the field, as the Granville secondary has a little bit of an issue right there with the dangerous speedster, the senior Porter.
A really nice throw from Dosh on the rollout to his left. It's shown an ability to throw the football on the move like that is very comfortable. This offense does a lot of that, moving the pocket left or right, letting him roll out. That time out to his left, able to put the ball over the shoulder of Porter, allow him to catch that one right along the sideline.
So fresh set of downs. Again, Davison will work 4 wide on a 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line as they've moved into Granville territory. Dogs with a 4 down front as they continue to change things up on the front line and change that coverage in the secondary as well. Dosh on the rollout. Looking down for Porter, and that one was caught, and it will be deemed that he got the feet in bounds. What a grab by Porter to snag that seemingly looking overthrown football and bringing some muscle in here with Sharkin. Davison going to work quickly. They have a 1st and goal up to the 8-yard line here.
Yeah, another really nice throw from Dosh, this time the opposite sideline, but this one to Porter as well. And it looked like Porter had to adjust the route a little bit right at the end, but able to get those feet in. Might have even reached out with one hand to bring that in.
1st and goal. Dosh leans into the shotgun. Has Hill to his hip. He'll fake it to him. Throw to the end zone. Braylon Naves caught. Touchdown, Davison. A scientific drive down the field as Davison's able to work their way down, especially with the pass game. And it's Naves, their top wideout target, finding his way into the end zone for the first time. First touchdown pass for the junior Dosh this season. 7.5 to go, first quarter.
Almost all the damage coming through the air. A couple handoffs to Hill. The Bulldogs able to come up with some stops, but then going to the air, RPO right there inside the 10-yard line. Sees the coverage he likes, able to get that in the slant route to Naves.
Junior Ryder Ferguson will look to add the extra point right here. Dogs got some pressure from Crow, but Ferguson nails with that one. Davison takes a 7-0 lead off a long drive. 7.5 to go, first quarter. We're going to step aside, be right back from Bulldog Stadium.
Everyone making time for life's best moments, let us celebrate with you.
In Wisconsin, we love celebrating together.
Big days or any other day.
So much.
From hot and juicy to ooey gooey
to oh my word.
Oh my word. Serving you a handcrafted meal that makes
today
a little bit more special. That's what fills us up inside.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
Rapid Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. A class is elected each year and then honored at an induction ceremony in the fall. They also prevent annual events in support of West Michigan athletics, and they raise funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow them on Facebook or check out the pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at grshof.com.
And we're back, 7.5 to go. Ryder Ferguson sends it away down to the Bulldog dangerous return man, Miguel Rojas. Kind of a floater, grabbed at the 10. He'll cut it to the 20, and Rojas will not quite get the 25-yard line as he gets tripped up. And here comes the Granville offense for the first time, Chandler. And, of course, the talking points start with the running backs. Everyone wants to talk about Jayden Terry for good reason. But how about DJ Hardiman, the play of the sophomore fullback in his first varsity contest last week?
Really impressive. Strong running from the start. Had a really solid day. If Jayden Terry hadn't gone for over 200 yards and 5 touchdowns, he easily would have been the highlight from the Bulldogs. Had 185 yards of his own and some really strong runs right through the middle of that Pickerington defense.
All right, Granville will start from their own 24-yard line as the senior quarterback, Ethan Newville, will open up the offense with a give that gets shut down for nowhere as Hardiman, the aforementioned sophomore, gets his first touch of the ball game, and this big inside defensive line, which is really going to lead the way for Davison, gets off to a great start. If they choose to put Ben Nichols in there at times, which they will do, along with Jaden Lockhart, they can have a couple of 300-pounders. But Lockhart, Nicholson, 240, they really can bring the muscle on that side of the football. It'll be a 2nd and 8 after a gain of 2 to Hardiman. Bouncing run gets shut down. And again, nowhere to go into the inside of the defense. This time it was Jayden Terry off his first touch of the ball game, but 2 carries really going to nowhere for Granville as they'll bring up a 3rd down and 7 after a gain of only 1 there for Jayden up to the 27-yard line.
Just on the first 2 snaps, you can already see the size of that Davison defensive line giving the Bulldogs some issues. Tougher to push those guys around than it was last week, and the first 2 runs only going for 3 yards combined.
Yeah, add in the edge rusher, Warren Kane, who is on his way to Western Michigan University next year as well, and you can see how impressive this unit is. Granville's got to go and convert a 3rd and 7 right here as Easton Sadinsky has nowhere to go as well. So every Granville running back got a touch. Sadinsky got only a yard. It's going to be 4th down and 6, and the Granville punt unit is going to come onto the field. So the exact opposite start, to say the least, that Granville's offense needed, as this dominating front line for Davison did just that defensively to open the ball game.
The Bulldogs struggling along that offensive line to get any movement. Running backs really now not able to break through that line of scrimmage. Only fall forward for a couple yards, and on 4th and 5, kind of forced to punt the football away here deep in your own side and try to give your defense a chance, even though they gave up the score on the first possession.
Hughes will be the deep man as Jake Karanen, who will also handle the punting duties in his senior year, will get ready to send it away for Granville. Inside 5.5 to go, and whistles and a penalty marker. That's going to be a delay of game, it looks like, against the Bulldogs. It's going to make this punt 5 yards more difficult for Granville, so now they'll snap and punt it from their 24 as Karen will back inside his own 10-yard line to send it away as Hughes comes ahead to the 35. So mistakes there for the Bulldogs on top of the poor start to the ball game. Hughes will let this one bounce, and it will find its way inside the 30-yard line. Good punt from Karen to help shift the field position a little bit, but the Granville defense, it looked like they nearly had a stop on that first drive. They really have to respond after the way the offense struggled on that first drive.
Yeah, going to need to make some adjustments in that secondary. Did a pretty good job of holding up along the defensive line and in the run game, but the secondary giving up some shorter throws that allowed Davison to matriculate their way down the field, eventually hit some bigger plays for 20-plus yards as they got closer to the end zone.
New for 2024, Michigan Sports Radio has coverage of Calvin University's inaugural football season. Catch the Saturday on Saturday afternoon tomorrow, September 7, when the Knights host Oberlin College at 12:30. That's Calvin University football all season long on Michigan Sports Radio. So Jackson Dosh will go back to work, starting at his own 29-yard line. Again, they put that bunch of receivers to the near side. Dosh buying some time, firing, looking for Naves, who is all alone, but he's unable to hang on to it. Some busted coverage with Jaden Brown out of position. Naves could have been running. I think maybe only the maroon turf was going to stop him, but ball a little bit underthrown. Naves had to stop on a dime and then unable to haul it in. So 2nd and 10 and a bit of a gift to the Granville secondary.
Yeah, Naves would have just maybe had to slip one tackle and he would have been down that sideline, but initially the throw wanted to go to left flat. Dosh was looking that way, ended up reversing course, going back to the right side. Naves kind of just freestyling with him, also going that way, and finds himself wide open. The coverage all flowing the opposite way, and if he looks that one in, might have scored.
2nd and 10, 29-yard line for the leading Cardinals. Granville showing some pressure off the edge with Reed Graverson. Dosh will fire quick, and that one got batted down by Demarion Carter, the junior, getting the mid up there. It'll be 3rd down and 10. Granville's defense was able to win on 1st and 2nd down on a couple of occasions last drive, and now they'll try to follow through on 3rd and 10. Graverson out. Jayden Terry in on the defensive side of the ball.
Been some really strong play from Demarion Carter early on. The first possession, hit Hill in the backfield, even though he didn't make the tackle, slowed the momentum, and right there had a free rush at the quarterback, able to get those hands up, knock that one free for what would have been a short completion.
Dogs will go 3 down on the front line with 5:08 to go, and a 3rd and 10 here for Dosh. Pressure coming from Carter, dumps it, and unable to be held on to by AJ Hill. 4th and 10. And this time the Granville defense will get off the field, so a good answer by this Bulldogs defense, which got only 1 stop a week ago. They nearly got one on the first drive as they had a 4th and 8 situation that they were unable to hold in. And this time the Granville defense doesn't allow a single yard on 3 plays. And the junior, Ryder Ferguson, will get ready to send it away to Josh Crater. This is the first time we have seen, actually I guess we've seen 1 punt last week, but it will be Crater here getting his first attempt of this one. And we blocked there by Emery Modi. And fair catching to the 35 is Crater. So here we go, second chance for this Granville offense. When was the last time we've seen the Bulldogs offense go 3 and out? I don't know if I can remember one in a couple of seasons, really since Jayden Terry got here, I don't think, in terms of games that we've done. So some adjustments needed for Coach Stiegel in the offense for sure. I think in particular the arm of Ethan Newville going to become critical.
Yeah, you definitely think they're going to have to lean on him at some point in the passing game. We saw it last week, more in the second half as they were trailing, but I think here after you see that first series where the running game not really going anywhere, maybe they turn to the play action and some of the stuff we saw to try to open things up.
And again, remember, Jay Weiss on the right side of the line is out at tackle. Matt Key, the junior, filling in for him. There's some space here for Jayden Terry. Not a ton of it, but he'll slice over the 40 to the 41-yard line. A very Jayden Terry-esque run right there, CT, before Demarius Carter brings him down after a gain of 6 on 1st down.
And sometimes there's going to be moments in the game where you're not going to be breaking those long runs, might not see the Jayden Terry 80-yard touchdown runs that we've seen in the past, but if you can turn what would have been a 1 or 2 yard gain into 6 as he did right there, just keeps the offense that much more ahead of schedule.
Senior Eli Jackson, the lone high safety out there, is Sadinsky puts his head down, and Easton Sadinsky will pick up the 1st down here for the Bulldogs, so a much better start to this drive. A couple of chunks for Granville as here comes Gavin Love, the sophomore, who has 1 touch, really 2, I guess. He has 1 touch actually in play. It went for a touchdown, and 1 more that went for a 2-point conversion. So he's batting 1,000. That's a pretty good rate. We'll see if he can continue that on this drive as Granville's got a 1st and 10 up to their own 48-yard line right here. Again, Ethan Newville will run the offense here for the Bulldogs. Hardiman goes in the middle of Love and Terry. Love and Terry 2.0 for Granville this season. And it is a give to the hard-charging Hardiman, who will snake his way over the 50 down around the 47-yard line. Good quick run as Sadinsky will check back in here for Gavin Love. But that's the element that Hardiman, as such a hard runner at that fullback spot, brings to this Granville offense.
Yeah, we've seen at times where the fullback trap, sometimes the middle of the field is going to be wide open, where you've got the defense fooled, but right there against the interior of this Cardinals defense, they're going to hold their ground pretty well, and sometimes you're going to have to run through some of those tackles, and Hardiman was able to right there. 2nd down and 5 out of the 2 tight end tee for the Bulldogs. This is Jayden Terry breaking one and fighting his way ahead to the 45-yard line before the pile takes him in. Braden Bundy, the junior middle linebacker, filling the big shoes for Carter Harriman in the middle of this Davison defense, makes the stop there. He had 10 tackles and a sack last week against De La Salle, so a little bit smaller guy at linebacker, especially compared to Harriman a year ago, but along with the other size they have on the front line at outside linebacker, certainly effective. This is a 3rd down and 2 for Granville. The mark will be just inside the 45 to the 44-yard line. Newville to Jayden Terry again. Terry pushes. He's going to be a yard short of the 1st down marker. You saw on the left side, Justin LaCroix came up pointing for the 1st down, but the mark is going to be short. Granville, of course, will keep the offense out right here from nearly the 42-yard line. Yeah, really just about a half yard short of it here, and an easy decision on the other side of the field now. Very manageable situation for this offense to try and pick it up after the run game has started to get going.
4th down and inside a yard. Jayden Terry gets popped in the backfield and is able to churn it just enough to move the chains before Jackson made the tackle. How about that one for Jayden Terry? Pop for what would have been a loss of a couple for most backs, but not this terrific junior.
Yeah, that one's not going to make a highlight reel necessarily, but that was a big run right there. Only a yard, but he was hit behind the line, did not get the half yard that he needed. Somehow able to just twist through it enough that he got the 1 yard.
Sadinsky back in as the Bulldogs continue to change up their unit in the run game. Up to the 41-yard line, fresh set of downs, delayed handoff. Newville on the bootleg, and that was well read. He's able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Warren Kane makes the stop, a lanky edge rusher who is one of the more dangerous defensive weapons in the state of Michigan, a Western Michigan commit. As that one falls apart, they'll give him a yard to the 40-yard line, so just past the line of scrimmage on the board, the scoreboard, the mark, but it looks like where the ball is put down, it will be a 2nd down and 10 right here for the Bulldogs, right back to where they were at the 41-yard line. Newville. This is to Hardiman right up the middle. He sidestepped to the first man before Bundy led another wave for a couple. So 3rd down and long here for the Bulldogs as they're able to get a couple of first down moves, and then the big inside of this defense, Jaden Lockhart coming back on the field now, able to shut down in the next couple plays.
Now we'll see now Coach Steele gets a play call in here. If this is a situation where they want to go the play action pass on a 3rd and long, or also he's thinking if you can get 2 or 3 yards, 3 or 4 yards, preferably for the Bulldogs, you're in another situation where you can go for it pretty easily on 4th down.
Inside a minute 15 to go, first quarter. 3rd and 7 for the Bulldogs. They trail by a touchdown. And it's a fumble trying to stretch it to Jaden Terry. Lockhart's on it. A mistake on the exchange, and the big Jaden Lockhart, the Saginaw Valley commit, 300 pounds, is the first one to jump on the football. We said it a moment ago, CT. How important was it for Granville to not make turnovers, not make mistakes like that one, and the way that this game script is going to go? A huge mistake there for the Bulldogs. They turn it over, already down to score.
Yeah, no doubt. A big mistake right there from the Bulldogs offense, who looked like they had started to move the football a little bit, but on the stretch run, Newville extending the arm to try to get the ball into the chest of Terry, and it looked like it just never got there. I don't know if Newville lost on the handoff or if Terry bumped it and never fully had it, but the ball immediately going down to the turf. The Cardinals right there to jump on top.
So Jackson Dosh will get to come back out. They start the 40-yard line this time after they had a 3-and-out of their own. On the first drive, 3 wide set. The H-back Sharkin back in here as Granville showing some pressure. AJ Hill swamped in the backfield again. Reed Graverson leads the tackling crusade for a loss of a yard. Emery Moody there with him as well. Anytime Davison's trying to run up the middle, the inside of this Granville defense has been swarming the same way Davison's done on the other side of the ball. Loss of a yard.
And the Bulldogs defensive line continues to impress, and right there again, able to get some movement. Allow the linebackers to come up there and make a tackle in the backfield. Hill's having a tough start to his night. 3 carries for 0 yards at this point.
4 down front again for the Bulldogs. This time Moody shifted to the far side of the field away from Ben Nichols. Hill again with nowhere to go again. He's able to push the pile over the 40 after the first contact was made by Braylon Haney. He'll make it a 3rd down and about 8 right here, but the Granville defense stuffing the run game very well. I mean, Davison, their lone scorer, came on a drive where they nickel and dime through the pass game down the field, and I think that might be what Coach Weingartz is going to have to draw up offensively, because this Granville inside of the defense has been really smothering after they struggled against inside zone runs a week ago.
Yeah, already signs of improvement week 1 to week 2, and so big if you can make them one-dimensional, even though they're able to throw the ball effectively early on. If they can force them into being one-dimensional, advantage Bulldogs.
All right, that'll do it for the first quarter. 7-0, and a 3rd down coming up for Davison on the other side of this.
You ever thought about a career in metal manufacturing? Today, careers in robotics, product development, engineering, and IT are just some of the few of the outstanding careers available. There are hundreds of businesses in West Michigan looking for people just like you and are willing to provide the training you need. Go to youarehired.pma.org or click on the PMA logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage. There's an opportunity for a lifelong career, and it's in your hands.
I do like doing video for football. It's creative call. All right, welcome back. Bulldog Stadium, 2nd quarter on deck, and 7-0 Davison after the first. The following companies are hiring in your area: Industrial Innovations, ProStamp, and Enterprise Tool & Die. To see all the companies that are hiring, check out the standings page on MichiganSportsRadio.com. Brought to you by Precision Metal Forming Association. So, second quarter, and it will start with a big 3rd and 8 from their own 42-yard line. Defense has been the operative word so far in this one, as Granville's been shut down with a 3 and out, and then a fumble on their 2 drives. One early score to Braylon Naves. Granville's defense has led the way after that, as Dosh will roll in the pass. Pressure coming from Haney. Chucks it down the field. What a grab made by Hughes inside the 30-yard line. That could not have been drawn up or, frankly, even executed better than what the Bulldogs did. But what a play through the pressure by Dosh, and what a grab by Hughes to move it deep into Granville territory.
Yeah, Dosh did not see the blitz coming right away, recognized it late, but able to keep his eyes downfield just enough to loft it up just over and into the fingertips of Hughes down the field.
So Dosh will again work out of a 4-wide set, now up to the Bulldog 27-yard line, already with a touchdown lead. Throwing the flat to AJ Hill. Hill will cut it up over the 25-yard line. He's in space to the 20. What a cut move over the 15, and that'll move the chains. The last thing you want is number 3 in white to be in any sort of open space like that, because that's what he's going to make happen.
I think the Cardinals are going to start to get creative with how they get Hill involved in the football game and how they get him the ball. They are willing to use him out wide. They line him up in the slot. They'll also throw him the football out of the backfield. Right there, able to get him the ball in space and let him go to work.
Now up to the 14-yard line. First 45 seconds off the clock in the second quarter. Davison looking for a 2-score lead. Granville trailed by as much as 3 scores before rallying a week ago against Pick North to nearly win. Dosh will keep this one straight away. He's got the 15-yard line, and he'll bring it inside the 10 before Crater escorts him out. Good gain on first down as Dosh is able to show off some of the speed right there, and on the near side of the field, Miguel Rojas will be a little bit slow back to his feet, but it looks like the senior will be able to stay in the football game. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4 to the Granville 8-yard line for a now churning Davison offense after the deep shot.
Another straight quarterback power run to the right side. Dosh able to outrun Reed Graverson to the edge and then turn it upfield. Graverson coming off the left side, or the right side rather, from his linebacker position, trying to get into the backfield and force that one back to the middle. But Dosh just beat him.
Power unit in right here, just 2 wide receivers. Charking along the tight end off the far side of the field. 10:55 to go in the first half. And a 2nd and 4 from the 8. Whistles cutting in, and a timeout from the Davison sideline as Coach Weingartz wants a look at this one. 10:55 to go in the second quarter. We're going to step aside, be right back here from Bulldog Stadium.
Do you have a distressed home you'd like to sell? Did you inherit a home you'd like to move on from with ease? Are you a tired landlord and it's just time? For Real buys and sells as-is homes with a mission to create real estate upside for everyone. We're fast, fair, for real. Call or visit For Real today for your free 15-minute consultation. 616-816-2028.
Welcome back to Bulldog Stadium. Davison looking for a 2-score advantage. 10:55 to go. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. And a 2nd and 4 coming up on the other side of this timeout here for the Cardinals, who are being pragmatic for a reason as they're looking to punch it up and go up 2 scores at the end of a drive that looked like it was about done before the deep shot down the field to Wesley Hughes.
Yeah, big conversion to keep that drive going, and now looking like they found a little bit of rhythm and momentum as they get themselves down inside the 10-yard line.
So the Cardinals to work. Both teams 0-1, as we said in the open. Whoever loses this game is going to be the best 0-2 team in the state of Michigan. I can pretty much promise you, unless Muskegon loses down at Rockford, you can probably make an argument there as well. Again, a power look, just 2 wide receivers. Peyton Coakley, the tight end. The H-back is Charkin to the left side. 2nd and 4. Dosh on the rollout again. This is Braylon Naves inside the 5, and he'll reach ahead to the 2-yard line. That will move the chains, and a 1st and goal from inside the 2 for the Cardinals, who are in prime position to strike again right here with inside 10:50 to go in the half.
Naves leading the way in receptions for the Cardinals early on, just short of the goal line right there as he reached out for it.
They will go under center right here. Out of an offset I form. Straight ahead, quarterback push. Jackson Dosh waiting for the signal. There it is. Touchdown, Davison. Dosh finds his way into the end zone this time. And the Cardinals take a 2-score lead. A powerful finish to that drive after they showed off their ability to find some speed and space through the air to begin the drive.
After really doing a nice job in the passing game, getting multiple different guys involved to move the football down the field. Once you get down on the goal line and the 2-yard line, going underneath center, quarterback who's a strong runner, able to go under center. They push him forward, quarterback sneak, gets in.
Ferguson again will look to add the extra point here. High snap, Coakley able to settle it down. The late arriving Crater not quite able to knock that one away. And that'll make it a 14-0 lead for Davison, who have come on the road into Granville and have looked very impressive on both sides of the ball. And this one will step aside as the Bulldogs offense will be back on the field in just a moment.
Was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation.
We customize the portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
It's the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats? Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Game night is presented in part by Farmers Insurance, Bennett Center Agency, for all auto, home, specialty, life, and commercial insurance. See what a center can do for you. Welcome back. Underway here at Bulldog Stadium. Ryder Ferguson boots it away from Rojas, and the Granville offense will start an important drive here already in this first half, down a couple of scores. They got some movement on that last drive, Chandler, but ill-timed fumble on kind of one of the most basic plays, a stretch handoff to Jayden Terry. Coughed up the football, and ultimately, in doing so, would cough up some more points, and now a 2-score deficit.
They're definitely going to need to bounce back quickly as 2-score deficit. Finally, it started to get some movement a little bit, even though there wasn't any long runs down the field. It worked their way across midfield. Now need to do that and hold on to the football.
Fake give to Terry and Newville to throw. He had 70 passing yards a week ago. High-pointed Sadinsky made the grab, wrestled it away in the secondary, and Sadinsky moves the chains for the Bulldogs. What a pitch and catch there.
Sadinsky, some strong hands to bring that one down. It looked like he almost might have pinned that one against the helmet of the defender. We'll have to see the replay of that one for sure, but had some separation initially. Newville had to launch it and kind of on the run, lofted up there, allowed the time for the defenders to get back, but Sadinsky still able to go up and high point that one and bring it down.
Dogs now up to the 43-yard line. They will go to work with a fresh set of downs and a quick turn to Sadinsky, who's rewarded with the football right away, but he is stonewalled. Caden Nicholson, 240 pounds, big number 99 in the middle of the defense and in the middle of the stop right there on the forward progress. The Bulldogs will get about 2 yards right here to the 45-yard line, and a 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Dogs with 9:50 to go. First half, 2-score deficit. Granville still looking for their first points of this one after they scored 51 against Pickerington North a week ago. A much different vibe to this football game in the opener for the new turf at Bulldog Stadium. Newville stretch to Sadinsky with speed over the 50, breaking to the 40, 35-yard line, on his feet to the 20, and he's gone. Touchdown, Easton Sadinsky.
Big run and a couple of really big plays from Easton Sadinsky on that drive. First, the really difficult catch in traffic, brings it down, and then the stretch run going to the left, breaks its shoestring tackle down the sideline. Really strong run, able to finish that one and give this Bulldogs team some energy as the offense gets on the board.
A 56-yarder for Sadinsky, breaking tackles with explosiveness. He was the one last year coming off injury that spurred the comeback in the playoffs against Hudsonville. And it looks like he might have just done it again as Jake Karen will get ready to add the extra point for the Bulldogs, now trailing by only a score with 9.5 to go in the second quarter. And whistles down. It's going to be a false start on the Bulldogs. It was, I think it was Kubzak that was running in late there at the end of that play. So the Bulldogs never were fully able to get their unit set up front. So this extra point will get 5 yards longer here for Jake Karen, the senior, who last week was as sure-legged as it got in terms of the extra points, and, of course, as well with that onside kick that he was able to help get the recovery for. And a low driver for Karanen is through the uprights and good. The Bulldogs answer back on that one. 14-7 ball game with 9.5 to go. What a run by Easton Sadinsky into the open field. Let's take a look at it again as Sadinsky, Bulldog Stadium. Newville stretch to Sadinsky with speed over the 50, breaking to the 40, 35-yard line, on his feet to the 20, and he's gone. Touchdown, Easton Sadinsky. Uccello's Ristorante has a restaurant near you. Go where great food and sports come together. Make sure to try one of their 18-plus specialty pizzas. They offer a variety of handcrafted pizzas, each one a testament to their love of quality and flavor. You can order online at uccellos.com. We have been to the Uccellos. That is, you can almost see it on your camera right there many times after games here at Granville, right across the street. So, big one from Sadinsky, 9.5 to go. And Granville, just like that, back into the ball game with a big strike out of the tee. Coach Stiegel said it before the season. If it weren't for Jayden Terry, Easton Sadinsky would be looked at as one of the best running backs you're going to find in the area, period, as a high one. Will be grabbed awkwardly by Porter. They fake the reverse. Here comes Cortez Porter over the 20 with space to the 30. And the reverse is going to flip the field inside the 50-yard line before the kicker, Karanen, makes the tackle. Or the fake reverse, I should say. That was an interesting setup off that kick to be the one to try that look, but it sure works out as Davison flips the field into plus territory.
It worked out really well. As ended up, the direction of the kick was to the open side of the field. It looked like the Bulldogs were going to be able to run right towards him, but they had that set up the whole way. The reverse just enough to draw the attention of the return team going that way. Allows the returner to get down the sideline and get just right to midfield.
Sure helps when you have a guy with the speed of Cortez Porter as well. He has got plenty of it to burn. The mark is going to be right in the middle of the field at the 50-yard line as Jackson Dosh and company goes to work. Dosh a couple of touchdowns, one with his arm and one with his legs in this ball game. Jacob Garris, the junior, will step in at tailback here. They'll fake it to him and throw it out wide for the double pass. It's Hill down the field. They scored on this last season, and this one's incomplete. They ran that exact play for a touchdown a year ago at Davison. This time, the good coverage down the field from Josh Crater. Incomplete, looking down from Hill to Naves. I guess we knew something was up when it wasn't AJ Hill alongside Dosh in the backfield.
Yeah, definitely the first clue that something was up right there. And the throw initially going well behind the quarterback, signaling that that ball was going to be thrown once again. And Crater, I think a little bit slow to realize it, but able to recover down the field, able to get back there. And as the ball was underthrown as well, Crater able to make a play on the football.
So 2nd and 10. And back to the 4 wide set for Jackson Dosh. Junior, low snap. He'll keep it on the option with space to the 40 and will walk his way out of bounds, escorted by Jaden Brown. Perfectly executed outside zone read. Will move the chains as Dosh able to show off his speed in the open field a little bit right there, and that's what makes him so dangerous as a quarterback. We've seen him moving in the pocket some right there, the open field running speed as well. 1st and 10 up to the 38.
Yeah, and get some nice blocking down the field from his receivers to that left side as well, as he didn't really have to face the defender till he was well past the 1st down marker. Got some nice help on the outside, blocking that secondary.
Wesley Hughes, the isolated man to the far side of the screen, as Hill will work again from the backfield. 9 minutes to go in the first half. And up to the Bulldog 38-yard line, fresh set of downs and a 1-score lead for Davison. Dosh to pass. Looking left side all alone, caught by Hughes, chased from behind towards the goal line. Touchdown Davison. Wesley Hughes, a 38-yard strike from Dosh, and they go back up 2 scores.
Hughes was the favorite target of Dosh a week ago, and right there they connect in stride once again down the sideline. Hughes has the defender beat right away, has a step or two. Dosh recognized it, able to put the ball right on the chest and allows him to cross the goal line, and another big strike from the Cardinals.
So the Davison offense continuing to roll, 8:56 to go. 3rd total touchdown for Dosh. This one his 2nd through the air. He found Naves earlier, and now he finds one of his other favorite senior targets, Coakley to hold. And once again, the right leg is pure for Ryder Ferguson. Back up to a 14-point lead for Davison. A great kickoff return and a quick strike down the field puts the Cardinals right back up by a couple of scores here at Bulldog Stadium.
Gear up this season with the MGN Shop, featuring everything from t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and outerwear, to water bottles, stickers, and other accessories that help show off your style and your support of game night, the Granville Bulldogs, and more. To shop, click on the Shop Merch tab at the top of MichiganGameNight.com and browse nearly 50 items. And be sure to check in frequently as new items are added throughout the season. That's the MGN Shop through MichiganGameNight.com.
Just heard the score update, also on Michigan Sports Radio, 7-7, Muskegon and Rockford. East Lansing down a score to Hudsonville, so some good games between some OK Red teams and some powerhouses. And this one, Davison flexing some muscle, a 21-7 lead. 3 total touchdowns for junior quarterback Jackson Dosh, who has looked really good in this one with his legs and with his arm. Ryder Ferguson will again send it over the head of Miguel Rojas. And once again, the Granville offense answered last time. They really are going to have to answer again. Now, oddly and rarely, Granville does get the ball to start the second half, something we have not seen a ton in the Coach Stiegel era. So if the Bulldogs are able with 8:56 here to find a way to have it only be a one-score game into the break, they can find themselves in better position coming out of that break with a score, but they're going to have to start by scoring here to just set it up easily.
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely getting the ball in the second half makes things a little bit easier. Definitely still in the football game. The offense has kind of been warming up a little bit. The first drive 3 and out, second one the turnover, and then last time the touchdown drive.
Jayden Terry popped trying to turn the corner at the 20 as he was never able to get free from the grasp of Caden Nicholson. Gain of about a half yard there for Terry. It'll be a 2nd down and 9 here from just past the 20-yard line.
You can tell early on the Cardinals focusing very heavily, and rightfully so, on Jayden Terry and the running game. Terry, 6 carries, only 13 yards, has yet to really break anything. 6 yards his longest carry.
8:25 to go, a 2nd and 9. The mark will be the 21-yard line here for Ethan Newville and the Bulldog offense. 4 down on the front line coming. Give to Hardiman. Stonewalled. Nowhere to go. Met by a Richardson. Met by Demarius Carter for a yard. They ran the quick little give on the trap, but Carter was met just as quickly. 3rd down and 8.
Now looking a little bit more like the first offensive possession for the Bulldogs right here. First 2 downs going just 2 yards, and it's now a 3rd and long. You got to come up with a play call here, where if you don't pick up anything, likely going to have to punt the football away.
3rd down and 8 from their own 22. Bulldogs trail by a couple of scores with 7:40 remaining in the second. Newville at the controls of the tee. The quick give was initially given to Terry, and then DJ Hardiman took it for just a couple, pushing his way to the 25-yard line. And that will make it a 4th down and 5 for the Bulldogs, who are going to keep the offense out. So maybe a bit of a determining point in the football game already. Granville will go for it on 4th and 5 from their own 25-yard line. You wonder if they go to the air. Worked last time. They tried it to Sadinsky, or is this one of those stretches to Jayden Terry where you try to get number 28 going in space? He'll line up along with Hardiman and Sadinsky. 4th down and 5, under 7 minutes to go in the half. Defense crowding way in with one high safety. Now Coach Stiegel is going to burn the first of his timeouts after he saw how the defense was setting up here. We'll stick with you through the break. You wonder here if Coach Stiegel, Chandler, as we'll welcome you inside the booth here at Bulldog Stadium, but you wonder here if this is a moment. Does Coach Stiegel decide to punt it away after he saw things, or is he going to be committed to going for it on 4th down? It feels like it might already be that sort of point with the way this game script has gone.
Yeah, I think so. I think initially there, Coach Stiegel maybe going to run the offense out there and try to get the hard count and see if he can't get the free 5 yards in the 1st down. But as the play clock's running down there, just electing to use the timeout, now I think the real discussion has to take place where, do you trust your defense to get a stop if you punt the football away and keep you in it? Or are you going to trust your offense? Even though you're on your own 25-yard line, and a field conversion right here is essentially giving the Cardinals great field position and another great chance to score and extend their lead.
We are inside 7 minutes to go. It is a 4th and 5, and the Bulldogs are going to go for it. Davison will change things up with a couple of high safeties right here as Heido will join Eli Jackson. Jayden Terry will push it, but he won't push it enough. Again, met by the inside of that defense. Even Jackson ranging to the tackle. The Bulldogs turn it over on downs, and they turn it over inside the 30-yard line. Davison can take a 3-score lead here with still about 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. A game that has gotten away from the Bulldogs, it appears, early quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, sure has. And the failed fourth down conversion right there. The Cardinals defense playing really physical, not allowing Jayden Terry to break any tackles after he had gotten about 2 yards. Tried to fight forward, but unable to do so. The Cardinals defense stands strong.
So to work from the 27-yard line, a huge opportunity for Jackson Dosh and this Davison offense that's looked dynamic early to keep it going. A low snap and a give to AJ Hill. He's got some space. He rips away from Braylon Haney and turns into a gain of 5. Haney was the only one there in the middle of the defense, but Hill, not necessarily known as a power back, but he's got some dynamic running, and he's able to find 4 yards out of that one.
Best run so far on the night for Hill. As good as the Cardinals' offense has been, they haven't been able to get the ball in the hands of the running back. They're handing the football off. They've got him the football in space, able to get him a completion, but now trying to open up the run game on the inside zone.
A Cardinals team for Coach Weingarts that was held out of the end zone last week in a loss to Warren De La Salle. On the keeper, off the motion from Porter is Dosh. He's up around the line to gain, a yard short. 3rd down and 1 right here. The legs of Dosh being used a little bit more the last couple of drives, and I think that's a very good thing for Davison. This is an offense. We're seeing it. They've got so many weapons out wide. They've got so much speed and running ability at quarterback and running back. They can bring the power in with H-backs and tight ends as well. This is a dynamic offense. They struggled a week ago, but I think this is a team that's really going to round into a state championship contender and favorite, and we're seeing that early in this one. 3rd down and 1, Granville 18-yard line. And they'll bring the power, and they'll once again bring the push, and Dosh has got almost 3 yards on the quarterback dive as that front line is winning up front right now for Davison. They go inside the red zone with 5.5 to go in the first half.
If you're getting 3 yards on the quarterback sneak, you know you're getting a pretty good push along that line. The quarterback can usually fight forward for a yard or 2 on his own, but when he's just able to immediately go forward and has 3 yards, easy conversion on 3rd and 1, you know that offensive line, especially center guard combos right there, able to get a good push right away.
So Dosh will work from the gun. They isolate Hughes, who had the TD grab on the last drive to the left-hand side from the 15-yard line. Cortez Porter in motion. They will fake it, and Dosh will keep it again. He's got speed. He's got the end zone with a shoulder in the crater. 2nd rushing TD and 4th overall for Jackson Dosh as Davison continues to flex some muscle in this one. 5 minutes to go.
Really impressive first half for the quarterback Jackson Dosh, and getting it done through the air. A couple completions for touchdowns, and now a couple rushing touchdowns as well. That one weaving his way a little bit more, 15 yards out, able to fight through the middle of the field and extend the lead.
So a 3-score lead. The Bulldogs faced that early in the second half a week ago. They were able to come back to nearly win it, leading with 30 seconds to go. Coakley settles it down, and once again, Ryder Ferguson is good on that one. Davison up by 21. The Cardinals making a bit of a statement at Bulldog Stadium in this one. 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, and it's been all Cardinals so far in this one.
Was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation.
We customize the portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
It's the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats? Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Game night is presented in part by Farmers Insurance, Bennett Center Agency, for all auto, home, specialty, life, and commercial insurance. See what a center can do for you.
5 minutes even to go in the second quarter. We're back underway at Bulldog Stadium. Miguel Rojas will again watch that one go out the back of the end zone. And the Granville offense now trails by 3 scores. Once again, they get the ball to start the second half. And once again, a very critical drive to score and just have a chance to be within a couple of scores and keep contact going into the second half. A game that, if it could go wrong, it has for the Bulldogs. They've nearly had some stops. They've nearly had some scores, but they haven't had many of either.
No, just looking for some consistency, a couple and 3 and outs, a turnover, and then 1 touchdown drive thanks to a couple big plays, but need it right here once again.
From their own 20, this is Jayden Terry, who's got nowhere to go, cut up over the 20-yard line after a 200-yard-plus performance a week ago. A very quiet start to this one for Jayden Terry.
Yeah, 8 carries, 16 yards for Jayden Terry, still struggling, and the Cardinals continue to play really aggressive on that side. You know, whichever side Jayden Terry is going to be running to, they've got defenders there, and they're going to make you beat you somewhere else. You saw Sadinsky break that one, going the opposite way. We'll see if they start to lean a little bit more on Sadinsky and maybe run in the opposite direction.
Second down and 9. Granville from their own 21-yard line. Just the one high safety, Jackson. And again, Jayden Terry pushes and nearly slips out of the pile. He gets shoestring down a yard short of the first down marker. Jackson in on the stop right there along with Bundy, but nearly the escape act from Jayden Terry there winds up being a 3rd and 1 with inside 4 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, right through the heart of the defense, just pushing through a couple arm tackles. Gets a big gain, makes this 3rd down much easier for the Bulldogs offense.
3 minutes, 50 seconds to go, second quarter. And the Bulldogs trail by 3 scores to a very good-looking Davison team in this one. Sadinsky, fake handoff. Newville firing down the field. Caught by Terry at the 50. Racing to the 40. And Terry's got the 35-yard line before Jackson catches him down the sideline. Second shot down the field from the Bulldogs in the pass game. And they move it deeper into Davison territory.
Really like the play call there from the Bulldogs coaching staff on 3rd and short. They know even if that's an incompletion, they can go for it on 4th, but they get the big play.
Bulldogs going with some tempo, now off the hard count, going back to the sideline. This was a very effective part of the offense last week, almost the Unity Christian style tee, working with some pace in the offense. The give to Hardiman up the middle, and he is stonewalled and pushed backwards after a gain of about 3, moving that pile. Timmy McCreary, the junior inside linebacker, in on the stop. A little bit different defensive unit this week for Davison. They were almost exclusively in nickel and dime package last week against the LaSalle. Now they have a whole bunch of different linebackers that maybe don't normally start for this defense, like McCreary, that are coming in and playing a big role trying to shut down this Granville offense. A 2nd and 7 for the Bulldogs, up to the 32-yard line. 2:55 and less to go. Looks like Granville going to do a good job of at least trying to make this the final possession of the half, trailing by 3 scores. This is Sadinsky again. And again, there's nowhere to go for this Granville defense as Demarius Carter's in the middle of it again from linebacker. This defense is so physical. I dare anyone in the state of Michigan to try to run on this team in a playoff run. The Bulldogs working with some tempo, 3rd and 4, 29-yard line. Ethan Newville back at the controls, has completed a couple of passes. This is a quick give to Jayden Terry, who will snake it right around the marker. I think he might be marked about a half-yard short. It's going to be 4th down and inches right here for the Bulldogs. The nose of the football almost on the line to gain, but Granville will have to force it ahead as we go inside 2 minutes to go in the first half. Long call in there from Coach Eric Stiegel to Ethan Newville. He'll break it. 1:50 and less to go. The Bulldogs have to go less than a yard on 4th down. They bring that tee in tight behind Newville. The Bulldogs try a quarterback keeper of their own, and they'll get it. An effective play call on both sides. After the play, Davison saying the football came free. It will stay with the Bulldogs, though. However, that was a late signal coming in from the Cardinals at the bottom of that pile. Granville now has to work quickly. They have 2 timeouts, and they have just under 1:40 to go in the first half, trailing 28-7. Terry, Hardiman, Sadinsky back in for the Bulldogs. This is a stretch to Terry. He'll cut it to the 20, and again, he's just tackled from behind with nowhere to go. Once again, the pile fights on the back end of this one. Nicholson over top of him, McCreary over top of him. I mean, those are the runs that a week ago Jayden was cutting up and going for 6, that Davison has instead had the answer. The Bulldogs, out of that, will now call their second time out of the half. Will stay with you through the break. 2nd and 6, 20-yard line, Chandler coming up, and the Bulldogs have put themselves in position to get a score, but this is going to be the most important point of the football game so far, that they do find their way into the end zone right here.
Yeah, able to work their way right to the edge of the red zone. Got enough time with the timeout remaining. They can run basically their entire playbook and feel pretty comfortable here. Time not going to be a serious issue at this moment, but need to capitalize right now. When you get down to this field position, had issues with turnovers here last week. Really need to hold on to the football here. Give yourself a chance to score. You can still stay in the game. So they can take this clock down pretty much to the end of the first half. Get the football. Try to get this down to a one-score game eventually, but it starts with a score right here.
And remember, Granville working without Jay Weiss, their senior captain at right tackle. Matt Key, the junior, is in his place. This is Easton Sadinsky breaking a tackle over the 15-yard line and moving the chain. Sadinsky has been the featured back on the ground through the air in this one in terms of production. Jayden Terry, a lot of stymied carries so far. 1st and 10, Granville going to work quickly at this one, and again Sadinsky hopping through the line before he got shouldered by Robbie Martin, just shy of the 5-yard line to about the 7. 1:05 to go. Granville will work with tempo once again. The word relayed from Newville. He'll turn, he'll give to Terry with some space, cuts it up, but gets met up from all directions after he was able to turn the corner. It was Braden Bundy, the first to make the contact. 3rd down and 4, 7-yard line, inside 47 seconds to go. And Davison will call a timeout right here with 44 seconds, and a 3rd down and 2 will now be the mark, as the Dogs will be given the 5-yard line after that run. So 3rd and 2, 5-yard line. Coach Weingartz, interestingly, decides to call the timeout right there. CT is he wants a chance to set up what's going on here for his offense. We welcome you back inside Bulldog Stadium here on game night, a game that's gotten away from Granville, but again, they find themselves in an odd position to try to be back in this game, get a score, come out of the break. They can make it a football game, but it's going to start here. This is a high-pressure situation. They executed in this a week ago. We'll see what they come up with here.
Yeah, we'll see. They've been able to move the football down. Last couple plays, running pretty quickly, that up-tempo. I think you see that effect on the Cardinals D as they elect to use the timeout to try to regroup here on a big 3rd down and trying to set up a potential 4th down situation. But the Bulldogs staying on the ground, working their way down the field. Now just right at the 5, need to punch it in.
3rd down and 2, 5-yard line. One timeout for both teams. The Bulldogs give it up the gut. A great push towards the end zone for Jayden Terry. He's going to be marked just shy of the end zone. It'll be a 1st and goal from inside the 1-yard line. The Bulldogs will work with some speed right here offensively. Newville turns. This is Sadinsky leaping into the end zone. Touchdown, Granville. Easton Sadinsky, 2nd of the ball game.
Really nice drive from the Bulldogs there. Able to work the clock all the way down, just under 30 seconds. Work your way down the field. Stay pretty stress-free in terms of having to make conversions. Work down to the goal line and punch it in. That's a little bit more of the power T football that we've seen from the Bulldogs after having some issues here in this first half, getting going. Able to get that drive rolling down the field and then score some points.
Again, Newville to hold. Robbie Martin nearly got in there, but that one was pure from Jake Karanen, who's looked very strong in this ball game again. 28-14, Granville finding their way a little bit more back into this ball game. 2-score game, 28 seconds to go in the 2nd quarter. We're going to step aside and be right back here from Bulldog Stadium.
Do you have a distressed home you'd like to sell? Did you inherit a home you'd like to move on from with ease? Are you a tired landlord and it's just time? For Real buys and sells as-is homes with a mission to create real estate upside for everyone. We're fast, fair, for real. Call or visit For Real today for your free 15-minute consultation. 616-816-2028.
Back at Bulldog Stadium, Granville has found their way to the end zone. 2nd of the ball game for Easton Sadinsky, who he's had to be terrific in this game, Chandler, because Jayden Terry has been, for good reason, very well focused on by this Davison defense. Sadinsky's had to become a little bit of the featured back through the air and on the ground, and he has done just that. Had the long-range touchdown, muscles it in there, and gets the Bulldogs a little bit more back into this ball game, now trailing by a couple of scores with 28 seconds to go. We'll see if Jake Karanen's got anything up his sleeve right here in terms of the onside kick. It is a pooch kick. And that one will find its way out of bounds. It was actually well executed. That took a bounce and nearly sat in the turf for a chance to run it down. That's kind of been the Karanen special. He got one of those last year against Caledonia. Will not quite get it right here as he puts that one out of bounds. And Davison's offense, 28 seconds. They have a chance to make Granville's life very uncomfortable right here.
Yeah, they sure do. We'll see. Do have a timeout remaining. We'll see how aggressive they want to be. Can't imagine they're going to take deep shots down the field, but with the playmakers that they've got, they can do some pretty conservative short passes here, let them try to break some tackles and see if they get a little bit going, and then they maybe want to go up tempo.
This is the coaching staff that came out in a tie game and threw a trick play double reverse shot down the field to open the second half a year ago against the Bulldogs, so they might be a little bit not so risk averse from time to time. 28 seconds on the clock, first half from their own 35-yard line after the out-of-bounds kick for Jackson Dosh, who has accounted for all 4 of the touchdowns for the Cardinals offense. 2 through the air, 2 more on the ground. AJ Hill to his hip and a low snap that Dosh will pick out of the turf. In the flat, Peyton Coakley, the tight end's got the 45 and gets twisted down by Ethan Newville, who's out there playing coverage after a first down pickup. 20 seconds on the clock. And a timeout will get called in by Coach Weingartz right here. So 20 seconds even on the clock, and Davison moving the football and with an opportunity right here to try to find their way down the field. A good start to it right there. Low snap, but good work. And again, Jackson Dosh, he has not had a completely clean pocket. He's had to do a lot of work with his legs in and outside of the pocket in this one to extend plays, to throw on the run. I've been very impressed by what Dosh has been able to do as a multifaceted quarterback.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job. He's scored through the air and on the ground as well. And see right there, able to move his feet. Sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's not. That one looked like after the snap, just kind of rolling out to the right side there, able to stay calm, delivers the ball to his tight end on the outside and lets him make a play. And after last week having a lot of pressure in his face and able to make some plays, you see it here tonight at times where he's able to stay relatively calm out there and keep his eyes down the field, make some plays.
All right, 20 seconds on the clock, and Davison from their own 47-yard line. Dosh will survey with Coakley isolated to the near side, the tight end and slot that just picked up the first down on the last shot down the field. Bulldogs with a 4-down front out of the changing defensive front that they've had in this ball game. Nice snap to the chest. Dosh with some time and good protection throws on the run. Coakley turns out of bounds to the 31-yard line with 13 seconds on the clock, and they're in excellent position now to try to take a shot at the end zone and maybe then also just advance the ball far enough. They don't have a timeout, but try to advance the ball far enough along the outside to maybe get a last-second field goal shot at it. We talked about it this week on Dog Pod in the pregame show, what Coakley can do as a guy finding those soft spots, sitting down as a tight end and a slot threat. He's done it on back-to-back plays right here. From the Bulldog 33-yard line with 13 seconds in the half, Jackson Dosh looking for a big blow early in this one. Fake to Coakley in motion. Dosh with pressure, coming, evades, throwing to the end zone, and that one is thrown out of the reach of anyone. Streaking down the field, the Bulldogs brought a whole bunch of pressure right up the middle right there, but Dosh able to avoid it and get it away. He is so slippery.
Yeah, just barely able to step up through the pocket that time. Had the edge rushers from either end meeting him in the backfield, but steps straight through it. Maybe rushed the throw just a little bit because of it, as he had Hill going down the seam and he had a little bit of space. So the Bulldogs defensive line able to get in there and at least force the missed throw.
Is this the kicking unit?
It looks like it.
Wow. Ryder Ferguson, the junior, they're going to test the leg from 50. 50-yard attempt to end the half for Ferguson. Snap down, kick is on its way. A driver will miss it short, and that'll turn it over. 1 second on the clock for the Bulldogs. Ferguson is one of the better kickers in the state of Michigan, but that was certainly a long shot attempt right there out of the junior. Just a little shy on it. Now 1 second, a chance for Coach Stiegel to draw up one last play. Will it be a trap or will it be a pass? It'll be, I would assume, one of the two.
Have to think getting the stop there defensively. Wouldn't be surprised to just see the trap here and give themselves a chance with the football after the half to cut it down to a 1 score. there's always the chance you break it, but you also don't want to turn it right back over.
A 2-score deficit, just like what they faced a week ago, but the difference is Granville gets the ball out of the half, so a much better feeling Granville team now than it was about 5 minutes ago as Ethan Newville will go to work. This is Jayden Terry on the stretch. He, again, has nowhere to go as he gets wrapped up and twisted down and out of bounds by a aggressive Bundy on that tackle. That will bring us to the half. 2-score lead for Davison, but Granville honestly has to feel a little bit like it's a win for it only to be a 2-score deficit that they face at the half. And we welcome you inside now here to Bulldog Stadium and our Centennial Securities halftime show against CT, like I just said. For it only to be 2 scores and for a chance to make it a 1-score game out of the break for a Granville defense that has played a little bit better, even though they've given them the same amount of points than what they did a week ago. I mean, I think Granville honestly has to be pretty happy where they're at, and I think Davison very happy, Coach Weingart's, with the way his team has played on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think so. I think for the Bulldogs, it feels very similar to week 1, where just the miscues, again, where there's times where they've shown potential. Both sides of the football, the offense has had some really good drives. The defense has gotten off the field at times, but just some mistakes, the turnover on offense, defense giving up some big plays. I think there's definitely some things to correct for the Bulldogs, and on Davison's side, they dominated for most of that first half. The offense finding some big plays, as we mentioned. Defense playing really physical, getting some 3 and out. So I think both sidelines have some reasons to be optimistic here and see what they can do in the second half.
All right, 28-14, Davison over Granville at the half. We're going to step aside. Be right back here on the Centennial Securities halftime show.
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
To everyone out there who loves Culver's,
the feeling is mutual. Everything's made fresh.
Everything. Everything.
It's our pleasure.
This is me and my happy place.
I wouldn't trade our Culver's for any other restaurant.
Culver's.
We love our guests.
Love.
Love.
As much as our guests love us.
This is me and my happy place.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes outnumber humans by like 1,000,000 to 1. So who are you giving your blood to? The humans or the mosquitoes? It's us versus them. And I think they're winning. So donate blood with Versity Blood Center of Michigan today.
Car Center is an automotive collision repair company with multiple shops throughout West Michigan.
Our goal is simple, to bring hospitality to the collision repair industry.
You can find us online at carcentermi.com to find the location nearest to you. Because at Car Center, fixing cars is our job.
But helping people, that's our business.
Are you having a hard time hearing tonight's game? Hi, I'm Brock Conkle from Michigan Sports Radio, and after putting it off for many years, I decided to contact Miracle Ear and get my hearing tested, and sure enough, had significant hearing loss. The friendly staff at Miracle Ear fitted me with hearing aids, and life is so much more enjoyable being able to hear the things that I've been missing. Go to miracle-ear.com to schedule your free hearing evaluation. There's a location near you.
The celebration of school sports continues, and the football playoffs hit the golden anniversary. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Last week, we let you know that this is the MHSAA's 100th year, and how you can follow along as we celebrate school sports. One of those ways is social media posts highlighting MHSAA records, such as on September 2nd, 2010, Luke Wilcox of Portland St. Patrick returned an interception against Bath 100 yards for a touchdown. That's tied for the longest in MHSAA history. But this is also the 50th anniversary of the MHSAA football playoffs. The very first MHSAA football champions were crowned in 1975. It was Livonia Franklin in Class A, Dearborn Divine Child in Class B, Ishpeming in Class C, and Crystal Falls Forest Park in Class D. The Class A and D finals were played at Waldo Stadium in Kalamazoo, with Class B and C finals at Perry Short Stadium in Mount Pleasant. and only 4 teams in each class qualified for that postseason. In 1976, the finals moved to the Pontiac Silverdome, and they were played there until 2004. In 1977, the number of qualifiers doubled to 8, and then grew to 16 for each class in 1985. In 1990, the number of classes doubled from 4 to 8. And the final expansion for 11-player football came in 1999, when the number of qualifiers per class grew to 32. We'll have more on the 50th anniversary of the football playoffs later in the show. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. Utica Eisenhower senior Bryce Hurley, he scored 3 rushing touchdowns, 1 receiving touchdown, and returned a kickoff for a touchdown in a 33-16 win over Oxford. Woodhaven's Preston Scheffler, the freshman making his first start at quarterback, tossed 3 touchdown passes and a 20-0 win over Wyandotte Roosevelt. And to Rockford's Cade Friesen and Logan Haglund, they each returned an interception for a score and a 30-23 win over Cass Tech.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the court. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
In soccer, a kicked ball that inadvertently touches a player's arm is not a handball. If a ball is kicked at someone's face and they instinctively put their hand in front of their face to block the ball, that is also not a handball. There was no intent. Handball or handling is called when the touch with a hand or arm is deliberate. However, if a ball glances off an offensive player's arm and goes into the goal is not allowed. Even if the touching was accidental or inadvertent, it's no goal. If the touching leads to an immediate goal-scoring opportunity, then it's also whistled for handling. As long as the inadvertent touching doesn't lead directly to a goal, it's play on.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. Back with more on the 50th anniversary of the MHSAA football playoffs. 8-player football was added in 2011 and split into 2 divisions in 2017. Farmington Hills Harrison has played in the most title games, 18, and they are tied with Jackson Lumen Christi for the most championships won, 13. Beale City and Crystal Falls Forest Park have each qualified for the postseason more than any other school, with 38 appearances each. Rockford has played in 28 straight playoffs, a record they are looking to extend to 29 this season. And the finals, as they have been since 2005, are at Ford Field in Detroit. Southfield A&T, Muskegon, Forest Hill Central, Harper Woods, Grand Rapids Catholic Central, Kingsley, Jackson, Lumen Christi, and Ubley are your reigning 11-player football state champions. Martin and Adrian Lenawee Christian are the returning champs in 8-player. The 50th MHSAA football postseason kicks off with district play on Friday, November 1st. Check out mhsaa.com for complete coverage all year long. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross. We'll be back next week.
Securities was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation.
We customize the portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
It's the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats? Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Game Night is presented in part by Farmers Insurance, Bennett Center Agency, for all auto, home, specialty, life, and commercial insurance. See what a center can do for you.
167 horsepower, candy red, 8 cylinders of freedom. And to think, he only let me drive it once. I've never considered myself to be a lucky man. That would be Dad. He didn't know a thing about cars, couldn't tell a hatchback from a quarterback. But somehow his just kept going, and going, and going, and going. Turns out Dad wasn't lucky. He just knew where to look.
The 76 Diner and Truck Stop would like to invite you and your families to come and check out their diner. With locations in both Byron Center and Coopersville, they're a great place to stop before or after the game. They have a wide variety of menu choices to feed all the kids. They serve breakfast hot all day, and they're able to accommodate all of your large group needs. Their full menu is available for takeout orders, and they have online ordering at 76truckstopdiner.com.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
Hey sports fans, my name is Ava, and I go to Cityside Middle School, which is just a couple doors down from Coldwell Banker, where my mom, Angela Reed, works. She has been a top-ranked realtor for several years and loves to help people. If you are looking to buy or sell a home in West Michigan, be sure to call my mom, Angela Reed, at 231-730-2274. That is Angela Reed at 231-730-2274. Have a great day.
There's something for everyone on Pizza Ranch's legendary buffet. Our pizza buffet features hot, cheesy goodness, slice after slice after slice. Try our signature pizzas or request your favorite combination with our Buffet Your Way option, and you'll get the first piece. With endless possibilities, you're sure to find your ranch favorites. Everyone will agree that cactus bread is the perfect dessert to end your meal. For legendary food that everyone loves, there's so much to love at Pizza Ranch.
Welcome back, everyone. Centennial Security's halftime show. Both teams are about to come out here and are starting to find their way on the field as we've about entered the warm-up period before the second half of play right in this one. 28-14, Davison over Granville at the half. A quick look at the scoring summary in the first half. In the first quarter, only one score. It was Jackson Dosh finding Braylon Naves from 8 yards out. Extra point good from Ferguson, 7-0. And then the scores came fast and furious. It was Dosh from 2 yards out, 14-0 as he took the two-score advantage with 10:42 to go in the second quarter. Granville answered with a 56-yard running strike from Easton Sadinsky to get it within a score. And then Dosh with a strike of his own, 38 yards out to Wesley Hughes through the air to make it a two-score game once again. And then Granville's offense fizzled out, gave out plus field position, and Jackson Dosh quickly scored, this time going back to his legs for his second on the ground from 15 yards out. Easton Sadinsky with 28 seconds to go in the half. Chandler answered to the second rushing touchdown of the ball game. It's a two-score game at the break. Take us through some of the stats from the first half as the Cardinals are finding their way back onto the field here for their warm-up.
All right, for the Bulldogs, quarterback Newville, 2 completions for 59 yards on the ground. Newville had 2 carries for 2 yards. Jayden Terry, 13 carries, 34 yards. Hardeman, 6 carries, 16 yards. Sadinsky, 9 carries, 87 yards. Through the air, Sadinsky had 1 reception for 23, Terry the other for 36. On the Cardinals side, a lot of damage done through the air. Dosh had 12 completions, 197 yards. That was split up. Naves with 4 for 32. Coakley had 3 for 38 yards. Porter, 2 for 45. Hughes, 2 for 69. Hill had 1 for 13. Not as much on the ground, but Dosh was able to find room 7 for 48 yards. Hill, 5 carries, just 7 yards.
Let's take a look at some of the big highlights from the first half. Let's start with this one, and a couple of plays really in a row from Easton Sadinsky on the Bulldogs' first scoring drive. First, it was this one heck of a snag that he made to set up his touchdown run that we'll take a look at right after. Give to Terry and Newville to throw. He had 70 passing yards a week ago. High-pointed Sadinsky made the grab, wrestled it away in the secondary, and Sadinsky moves the chains for the Bulldogs. What a pitch. So after that, Sadinsky was set up for this. The long strike from his own side of the field. He goes 56 yards, rumbling to the house on this run to put the Bulldogs on the board for the first time in the middle of that second quarter. Stadium. Newville stretch to Sadinsky with speed over the 50, breaking to the 40, 35-yard line, on his feet to the 20, and he's gone. Touchdown, Easton Sadinsky. It was a quick answer for Davison, as it then was Wesley Hughes. As the Bulldogs had the long-range score of their own, Hughes was able to score from 38 yards out. A really nice strike from Jackson Dosh for his second passing touchdown of the ballgame. Looking left side all alone, caught by Hughes, chased from behind towards the goal line, touchdown Davison. Wesley Hughes, a 38-yard strike from Dosh, and they go back up 2 scores. Then trailing by 3, it was Easton Sadinsky able to wrestle his way into the end zone for, if the Bulldogs do find a way to come back and win this one, what will probably be the most important score of the game to get it to within 2 scores at the break. Yard line, the Bulldogs will work with some speed right here offensively. Newville turns. This is Sadinsky leaping into the end zone. Touchdown, Granville. Easton Sadinsky, second of the ball game. So it all adds up to 28-14. Warm-ups continuing. Chandler's second half. The keys for Coach Weingartz, the keys for Coach Stiegel. What were each of those coaching staffs working on in the halftime break?
I think for Coach Stiegel on the offensive end, you're just looking for consistency. You can't continue to turn the football over, whether that's on downs or whether that's fumbling the football, and be consistent, especially against the front of this Cardinals defense. I think for Davison, they found an offensive rhythm and play calling that they like. They got the ball quick. They were throwing it around, got multiple guys to the football, and they were finding quite a bit of room in that secondary, exploiting some of the coverages of the Bulldogs. I expect them to continue to get the football out, even though the ground game wasn't working. Using the quarterback run game with Dosh and getting Hill involved in the passing game a little bit more instead of the run game.
For the Bulldogs, this next drive, of course, it goes without saying, such a big one for Coach Stiegel and the Dogs. We've seen a couple of trips to the air. We've seen some up-tempo elements and some mixed elements in this offense. We last week saw a couple different formations that the Bulldogs even ran. What are some of the tricks you think that might have to be part of this drive moving the football for the Bulldogs?
Yeah, I think it starts with they got to get going a little bit. The drives, they've been able to move the football a little bit. You don't need those long plays outside of the one long Sadinsky run. It really hasn't been those chunk runs that we've seen from the Bulldogs at times. It's been a lot of the 2, 3, 4-yard carries, which this offense can still have success with, but I think at times here they're going to have to start to mix in some of those play-action passes that we saw. They hit one to Sadinsky, hit one to Terry in the first half. They've got some playmakers, got Gibby Connolly, who got involved last week in the second half as well, that we'll see if they want to target him as the game goes along. And again, it doesn't have to be a lot. It just, if you can mix that in, it keeps this Davison defense thinking a little bit about it. Maybe they can't be quite as aggressive, and maybe it'll open up some of the run game.
Jaden Terry, 5 touchdowns, 206 yards a week ago. Very quiet, as you just talked about with the stats in the first half. What can Coach Stiegel do creatively? We saw the one pass. What can Coach Stiegel do to try to get Jayden Terry involved in the offense in different ways?
Yeah, I think, number one, you keep giving him the football. That's the thing. You don't go completely away from it. I think even though they've been shutting it down, Jaden's had some nice runs, yet some strong runs where you don't just completely avoid giving him the football. You're still going to run those base stretch runs that they love to, but I think you mix it up a little bit with some of that play-action pass, and if it's to Terry, if it's elsewhere, you get him the football that way. But I think some of those runs will open up eventually. He's a strong running back. He's going to be able to play throughout the course of this game, have the endurance, and some of those running lanes might start to open up if you continue to give him the football.
There were a lot of people from Pickerington North's community that were impressed with Jayden Terry, to say the least, last week, but in particular, I think it was his ability to not get tired and get stronger down the stretch run that really impressed a lot of people. The Bulldogs are going to need to see that again out of number 28. By the way, he's visiting Notre Dame tomorrow. Actually, I think he's visiting Notre Dame tomorrow along with Ben Nichols, the 4-star tackle from the other side of the field for Davison. So a Notre Dame visit tomorrow for Jayden Terry. We will see what sort of second half he and the Bulldogs have cooked up, as Granville's offense will be getting the ball to start this second half of play. Ryder Ferguson missed a 50-yard field goal at the end of that first half. He will be the one to send it away, as Miguel Rojas and Jeremiah Morales are back to help return this one. Of course, Rojas, the deep man in this Bulldog return unit, so dangerous a year ago. And we'll see what he's got up his sleeve here. Ferguson sends it away, and here we go. Once again, Ryder Ferguson easily through the back of the end zone. I can see why the coaching staff decided they were going to try that 50-yarder. I don't think he's come close remotely to giving a return to the Bulldogs on those kickoffs, putting them through the back, fully through the back of the end zone. Here comes Ethan Newville. Granville offense will go back to work. Easton Sadinsky, both of the touchdowns on the ground for the Bulldogs. Newville, a couple of passes through the air as well. He completed one to Sadinsky, one to Jaden Terry. 12 fresh minutes on the board remain up. And Granville down 2 scores, a chance to get it back down to a 1-score game to begin the second half. And a fumble right away. Newville will throw it down the field to Sadinsky, caught at the 50, and he's got it in enemy territory. What a saving play from Newville and Sadinsky there.
I can't imagine that's how they drew that one up, but they made it work. Newville, immediately as he was going to turn and roll out to the right, looked like he dropped it, never maybe even had it off the snap, looked like it immediately hit the turf, but able to scoop it up without going down and keep that play alive.
That was quite something up to the 47-yard line. Newville will give to Sadinsky, who pushes with a second burst ahead to the 40-yard line for a gain of 7. As Granville's offense has got a little bit of momentum here and maybe a little bit of swagger after somehow that last play, for as poorly as it started, was finished. Up to the 40-yard line, second down and 3. For the Dogs who are working down a couple of scores right here. Davison using a couple of high safeties now, after primarily just going with Jackson as a single high in that first half, as Hardiman is snowed under, but a late penalty marker came flying into the 35-yard line. We'll see if that was on the hit or what that marker is going to be. 11 minutes, 2 seconds to go.
Penalty flag thrown right in the middle of the field, right around the area of the contact there.
Face mask on Davison will give up a free first down and some free field position to the Bulldogs here. It looked like it came in that pile with the tackle that was made on the hard-charging DJ Hardiman, the sophomore. So Granville, not even quite a minute gone in the third quarter, will have the ball inside the 30 and up around the red zone right here, as their offense is looking more like the offense we certainly saw a week ago than the one that opened up this ball game.
Yeah, definitely. And the play action pass right away gets the big gain down the field. Now you see those 2 safeties back there. That can start to open up some of these running lanes and some more area along that defensive line if they're not able to have that extra body in the box.
And Connolly LaCroix, the starting tight end unit. And this one is going nowhere on the give to Easton Sadinsky. He gets about a yard right to the red zone of the 20-yard line. Second down and 9 here is Coach Stigo continuing to feature Sadinsky right now, and I would say the Bulldogs will probably keep featuring him until he gets picked up on as much as Jaden Terry has been so far in this ballgame. Second and 9, 10.5 to go in the third quarter. Bulldogs trailing by a couple of scores. Going back to work here with Sadinsky. Got some space, breaking into the open field at the 5, and he's just shoestring down to the 2-yard line by Eli Jackson. First and goal. Easton Sadinsky continuing to run free for the Bulldogs right now and range free in the passing game.
Another nice run off the left edge there. Had a lot of room as he turned the corner. Another big run for him. He's been by far the most successful running back for the Bulldogs on the ground, now over 100 yards.
First and goal. Granville a chance to get it within a score as the defense will crowd in. Hardiman in the middle of Jaden Terry and Easton Sadinsky. This is Terry, and standing up into the end zone, the Bulldogs within a score. Touchdown number 6 on the season for Tank.
Perfect drive from the Bulldogs out of the halftime break. Nice mix of play calling. Hit the big play action pass down to open up the drive, and then able to run the football, get Sadinsky and get Terry in the end zone. And after things were looking grim there in the first half, down multiple scores, the Bulldogs, as they did last week, find themselves back in it, down just a score after their offenses came through a couple times.
Jake Kiernan to get it down to 7. This is a twister that misses wide. Warren Kane got the mid in there coming off the edge, and Kiernan pushes that one. Granville remains down 8 with 9:53 to go in the third. We are going to step aside and be right back here from Bulldog Stadium.
You ever thought about a career in metal manufacturing? Today, careers in robotics, product development, engineering, and IT are just some of the few of the outstanding careers available. There are hundreds of businesses in West Michigan looking for people just like you and are willing to provide the training you need. Go to youarehired.pma.org or click on the PMA logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage. There's an opportunity for a lifelong career, and it's in your hands.
The following companies are hiring in your area: Industrial Innovations, ProStamp, and Enterprise Tool and Die. To see all the companies that are hiring, check out the standings page on MichiganSportsRadio.com. Brought to you by Precision Metal Forming Association. Granville will send away a short one that'll get soaked up by Garris in the middle of the return unit. Here comes Jackson Dosh and company. Only a one-score game now as Granville's defense has put themselves in a position here to make something happen. Now they're down 8. This is a team that's okay going for 2, I can tell you that much. But they are now down 8 and within a score, which, again, if you told me this was going to be a one-score game at this point, at a point there early in the second quarter, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but I also wouldn't have believed you last week that they'd come back from down 3 scores against Pickerington North. It's been a little bit of a feature, not a bug, of this team so far. Coakley will get lined up as a tight end off the left side of the line right here. Naves in motion. They throw it to him on the swing to the 30. Naves has got the 40. He's got speed to the 45. Fumbled the football straight back to himself at the 50. A dangerous one right there as Braylon Naves nearly turned it right over off the Josh Crater tackle. And Naves is down on the sideline. He's having some issues getting stretched out at the end of that play. That might have been part of why that football was fumbled away at the 50-yard line.
It looked like he was right after the contact there along the sideline. Football popped out from his hands there, able to dive right back on it, fortunately for the Cardinals. But the swing pass in the backfield once again, get the misdirection going that way off the motion. And then Naves has a lot of room to run to that side, gets 20+.
So Garris back in, and Hill is lined up in the slot left. So keep an eye on this. They ran a trick play out of this look last time, 1st and 10, right at midfield at the 50. Dosh will give this time on a fake, wrapped up in the backfield. Braylon Haney busting through the first contact on the read option keeper, and Haney forces a big loss right there. It looked like the read maybe was Garris. It was kept by Dosh, and he was swarmed right away.
Dosh, a late decision to keep that one, and might have been the wrong one there as Haney was immediately there to meet him. Strong tackle to wrap him up and bring him to the ground.
2nd down and 15 here, back to their own 45-yard line for the Cardinals, up by 8 in a 4-wide set here for Jackson Dosh. 4 total touchdowns, 2 with his arm, 2 with his legs. In that first half of play, he was terrific. The junior low snap is bobbled, throwing in the flat to Coakley at the 50. Made the first wave miss momentarily before a lineman helped shut him down to the 49-yard line. Back up to the original line of scrimmage, maybe just a yard past it. 3rd down for the Cardinals here. It will be 3rd and 9 from the 51 or from the 49-yard line for Davison. I don't know how this sport works. 8:38 to go, 3rd quarter. And the unit getting changed up right here. Big Caleb Charkin, the 220-pound H-back, will come in for this 3rd down and 9. Couple of dangerous moments. The ball on the turf twice already this drive for Davison. They've been able to maintain possession both times. We'll see if they can keep it moving forward. With speed across the line of scrimmage into position is Cortez Porter there. Gets matched up with Jaden Brown in the coverage. Fake given, Dosh to pass. Through the pressure, lobbed and caught 35-yard line by Wesley Hughes again. And it takes a quartet of Bulldogs, including Jaden Terry, to bring him down just shy of the 30-yard line. Another conversion on 3rd and long for Davison. They've ripped out the hearts of the Bulldog defense a couple of times in moments just like that one. This time, they get the 32-yard line.
The Bulldogs have been doing pretty good on 1st and 2nd down. They limit the run game to short gains, and then it gets to 3rd down, and the Cardinals continue to find room through the air. Once again, quite a bit of separation in the secondary. Hughes finds some room along that sideline, and Dosh finds him.
This time it will be Garris as a 2nd tailback that'll go in the slot. Some confusion getting this signal in from the sideline from Coach Weingartz. 32-yard line, fresh set of downs with 7.5 in the third. Granville within 8, the closest it's been in a bit. And out of that confusion, Davison is going to be forced to burn a timeout. Kind of saw that one coming as they were struggling to get that play relayed on in. New for 2024, Michigan Sports Radio has live coverage of Calvin University's inaugural football season. Check out the action tomorrow when the Knights host Oberlin College at 12:30 p.m. That's Calvin University football all season long on Michigan Sports Radio. 7:23 to go in the third quarter. We're keeping our eye out, by the way, for the end of the game. Make sure you stay with us for the MGN Shop post-game show as we will hand out the player of the game presented by the Bennett Center Farmers Insurance Agency, the play of the game presented by Centennial Securities, and the Car Center hit of the game. Fresh set of downs, 32-yard line. And back to a 4-wide set with Wesley Hughes isolated left here. And Cortez Porter in motion. Dosh off the fake handoff, and that one is overthrown, and AJ Hill is just unable to hang on to the leaping grab right there as Dosh forced that one just a little bit, rushed that one, I should say, just a little bit on the quick throw, 2nd and 10, 32-yard line.
Hill on the wheel route down the left sideline. Looked like Hill wanted to sit down just a little bit in the coverage, and Dosh led him up the field, so Hill trying to find that momentum going back up the field, throw it out in front of him just too much.
7:18 to go. Granville has brought it within a score. Missed extra point from Jake Karanen on a night that is getting, looking at the crowd, increasingly chilly. It certainly feels like football here tonight. A beautiful night to open up the new turf at Bulldog Stadium. Dosh to pass again, and lit up right away after the grab there is Cortez Porter as it was Naraki ranging to him. And again, a 3rd and decently long right here to just past the 30-yard line to the 28. It will be a 3rd down and 6 right here for the Cardinals. Sharking in as an H. Coach Zenner, Coach Stiegel not happy as now the Bulldogs are going to be forced to burn a timeout, it appears, as they were unable to get their unit properly set before that play. And with that, we also will take a timeout right alongside the Bulldogs.
Stock up this Labor Day with amazing savings at your neighborhood family fair. With Card, enjoy cool sips of select varieties of Pepsi or 7-Up products. Buy 2, get 3 free. Beat the heat with 6 to 12-count Outshine bars, 2 for $8. And save on items down every aisle during our Buy 5, Save 5 sale on items like select varieties of Nabisco Ritz or snack crackers, select varieties of Farmland sliced bacon, or Kool-Aid, Tang, Arizona, Mio, Country Time, or Crystal Light drink mixes. Family Fair in your neighborhood.
Mosquitoes outnumber humans by like 1,000,000 to 1. So who are you giving your blood to? The humans or the mosquitoes? It's us versus them. And I think they're winning. So donate blood with Versity Blood Center of Michigan today.
3rd and 6, we're back underway from the Bulldog 28-yard line here for the Cardinals. 3-wide set. They got Wesley Hughes on his own to the left again. Jackson Dosh at the controls. Dosh off the fake pitch to Hill. He's got a bunch of time directing traffic. Here comes the pressure and forced to throw it away. Braylon Haney, Reed Graverson getting to the backfield. 4th and 6. We'll see the decision. The offense appears to be staying out there. We saw a missed 50-yarder at the end of the half. And now the Davison offense will go for it, it would appear, on 4th down. A huge chance for Granville down a score to somehow maybe get the stop and give their offense a chance to tie it from where this one was going.
Yeah, really big on 3rd down is Dosh trying to buy time and allow his receivers to come open down the field, but really nice work from the Bulldogs secondary staying with them.
Ethan Newville out in the secondary for the big down as he often does. Empty backfield and a 5-wide set on 4th and 6 for Jackson Dosh right here. Dosh, pressure coming from Jayden Terry, down the field for Naves, incomplete, good coverage from Miguel Rojas. The Granville defense gets the stop, and the offense a chance to take it back the other way. Dosh a little slow back to his feet I think he took a shot from Jayden Terry as he let it go, and the Bulldogs take it over.
Now the Bulldogs bringing some pressure on the big fourth down right there. Multiple guys blitzing from that second level. Didn't get home right away, but just enough to rush that throw a little bit, deliver the hit to the quarterback Dosh, and force the incompletion.
Dude, I can't believe they're doing it again. 6:35 to go in the third quarter. Never count this 2024 version of the Bulldogs out, and it's barely September, and we've already been through the roller coaster a couple of times. From their own 28-yard line, down 8. Here come Newville and the Bulldogs. It's a stretch to Easton Sadinsky. He's got space, cutting to the 40, racing to the 50. Sadinsky angles in enemy territory and ushered out of bounds by Robbie Martin to the 40. Sadinsky again running free for the Bulldogs.
Sadinsky's big night continues. Another big run right there. He's been about the only back, the only runner for the Bulldogs that's been able to find some chunk plays, and he gets another one off the left end. Once again, they continue to find room that way, whether that's because the offensive line able to get some work done over there. Cardinals continuing to key in a little bit more on Jayden Terry and forcing them to get beat elsewhere, and Sadinsky's doing that right now.
Down 3 scores in the second half. The Bulldogs have come charging back at it, or in the second quarter, have come charging back at it in the second half. Sadinsky wrapped up by big Caden Nicholson in the backfield that time. Number 99 just engulfed him the second he touched that football. It's a loss of 1 for the Bulldogs back to the 41.
Yeah, Nicholson, one of those guys on the interior of that Cardinals defense that's been making things difficult on the interior for the Bulldogs and trying to find some space, and right there able to get in the backfield and wrap Sadinsky up before he ever had a chance.
Second down and 11. Sadinsky to the right and Terry to the left with DJ Harden in the middle of the straight T unit here for the Bulldogs. This is Sadinsky as he'll twist his way ahead before Jaden Lockhart locked him up just shy of the 35-yard line. So this will be a 3rd down and 6 for the Bulldogs, and obvious 4-down territory. It's just pretty much always 4-down territory for this offense. We know that much, but especially with this score in this part of the field. Granville defense has already gotten one more stop than they got last week against Pick North in that wild game, but we are starting to see some points in this one. Center Cam Bruker will come set along with Newville. Defense crowds in on what will be marked now as a 3rd and 7 play for the Bulldogs. It's a stretch to Sadinsky, and he's got nowhere to go. Braylon Bundy meeting him in the backfield. The junior inside linebacker filling in very nicely for Carter Harriman the way that he's played in this one, the Miami University now linebacker. 4th down and 6. It was a gain of 1 on the forward progress for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and so big on 3rd down, too, that they held that to no gain. The Cardinals, that's a big win for them. If the Bulldogs able to pick up 2 or 3 yards, they can run the football again. Now you force them into a little bit more of an obvious passing situation, or they're going to have to break a tackle.
Official mark, it will be 4th and 7. Newville to throw over the middle. Wide open Sadinsky. Another 1st down. Quick turn, throw right up the middle. Not even really any play action. And it's a dart over the middle on a little bit of the Texas route action up the gut there from Easton Sadinsky.
Yeah, I really like that. A quick hitter. You see a lot of those deep play action shots down the field, but that one right over the middle of the field.
Sadinsky will come set. Newville looking back to the sideline. He'll get the new call in from the 25-yard line. Bulldogs keeping the drive alive. This is Jaden Terry wriggling his way ahead to just shy of the 20-yard line. 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter.
See if the Bulldogs now, as they approach the red zone once again, if they start to get Terry the football a little bit more, been giving the ball a lot to Sadinsky, making the defense respect that. Now I think now you've got them thinking that way. Now maybe the running lane to the right side will be open for Jaden.
Again, kind of with those completed passes, back to 2 high safeties again right here for Davison. A stretch to Jaden Terry. He'll extend it to the 15. He'll cut to the 10. On his feet. Touchdown. Jaden Terry somehow staying up and finds his way to the house. Bulldogs, a 2-point conversion from the tie.
Not sure how Jaden Terry stayed on his feet right there. Looked like he was going to have the 1st down easily. Just about got tripped up, had to extend his arm, keep himself up, somehow didn't go down. Able to then find the final 5 yards to get in the end zone.
Jaden Terry with a couple now. In this ball game, he always finds a way. The Dogs will go for 2 and look to tie the game somewhat improbably. Newville, fake given a throw, wide open, Connolly can't make the grab. a little overthrown, and Connolly unable to settle it down. It remains a 2-point Davison lead, perfectly set up, but Gibby just unable to make that overthrown football from Newville. We'll step aside, be right back here from Bulldog Stadium.
Do you have a distressed home you'd like to sell? Did you inherit a home you'd like to move on from with ease? Are you a tired landlord and it's just time? For Real buys and sells as-is homes with a mission to create real estate upside for everyone. We're fast, fair, for real. Call or visit For Real today for your free 15-minute consultation. 616-816-2028.
All right, welcome back here to Bulldog Stadium. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer. The lead within 2 right now as the Bulldogs score again. Second of the game for Jaden Terry. On one of those classic Jaden TD runs, as this one is squibbed ahead from Jake Karen on to Garris, who will take it up to the 35-yard line. Again, as the receiving up man, but a touchdown run right there that if you've watched Jaden Terry run enough, the second he made that cut, and he had that hole, we talked about this last week, but the second he made that cut, even though he's got 3 guys in his way, you know he's scoring.
Yeah, there's something about it. You know he's going to, once he's made it that far, he's not going to give up till he's in the end zone.
So Granville defense back to work. They got the stop. They'll need to get another one right here now, trailing by 2. A team that has made a living over the years under Coach Stiegel, winning games on the margins thanks to some 2-point conversion attempts and offsetting the scoreboard will have to do the opposite and come from behind because of it. Naves again in motion. They threw it to him on this last time. They'll do it again. Naves at the 40. Cutting to the 45. Races 50. Graverson got a piece of him. Naves kept chugging along inside the 40-yard line. Tackle made by Naraki. Naves is so dangerous in speed, or in space with his speed.
Yeah, much like the last drive, just get him the football out in the flat and let him go to work. He ends up reversing the field, going all the way back across, but just a simple throw there to get the drive started.
A drive starting very similar to the last one right here for the Cardinals, and again, they'll work with a 3-wide set using Charkin again as an H-back. This time, Hughes in motion. It'll be Hill lowering the head to the 35-yard line before Reed Graverson made the stop. Gain of 4 on first down. A power run. Kubzak will check in here for the Bulldogs defensively. 2:45 to go third quarter. 2nd and 6 here up to the 35-yard line for the Cardinals. They'll spread it back to a 4-wide set. Granville again will work with 4 down linemen. On the near side is Emery Moody, the leading senior edge rusher. Coakley gets set off a late call in from Jackson Dosh, who fires quick in the flat to Braylon Naves again, and he breaks the tackle, and he will get pushed out of bounds after he got just enough to move the chains inside the 30-yard line and down to near the 25 with a mark to the 26. So once again, Naves is the guy that is collecting the offense, and for good reason, getting rolling in the second half.
Yeah, able to run various routes and hurt the Bulldogs in multiple different ways. That time curl route on the outside, the throw, again, right on the money, right on the sticks where he can turn and get upfield.
Naves, a Central Michigan commit, had 11 touchdowns a year ago, caught one earlier in this ball game. Delayed give on to Cortez Porter, broke a tackle and got the 21 before Reed Graverson made the stop. Good to see Graverson in on another stop there for the Bulldogs, as he is pretty much back to 100% in terms of his playing minutes and his snaps in this one. It'll be a 2nd down and 4. Davison moving the football much more effectively on this drive than the last one that they got stopped in Granville territory. 1:54 to go in the third, a 2nd down and 4 from the 20. Again, the H-back, Caleb Sharkin, the 220-pound outside linebacker as well on the other side of the football here, is lined up with a 3-wide set. Dosh with the pressure coming, and he's forced to throw that one away. Demarion Carter, the junior, was right in his face, and Dosh will take a second to collect himself. 3rd down and 4.
Bulldogs deciding to basically bring the house right there on the blitz. I think all the linebackers rushing through the defensive line, able to get into Dosh's face pretty quickly. Dosh just rolling out and eventually had to throw that one away.
Josh Crater, the high safety here for the Bulldog defense on the 3rd and 4 play. We go inside a minute 40, 1:36 with the clock stopped here in the 3rd quarter. 3rd down and 4 from right at the outside of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Dosh settles the high snap. Pressure coming, down he goes. Wyman busting through. 4th and long. The junior shot out of the cannon, and the Bulldogs will force a 4th and long.
Well, defensive coordinator Zenner right there relying heavy on the pressure, and it works once again. That time they get home, bringing Dosh to the ground for the sack.
This will be a 4th and 10. Cardinals will go for it, leading by 2. From the 26, Bulldog defense looking for back-to-back stops. And Coach Stiegel is going to be forced to call his 2nd timeout of the half already. So that could be a big storyline down the stretch. We've had 3 timeouts between the 2 staffs already called in this 3rd quarter. Uccello's Ristorante has a restaurant near you. Go where great food and sports come together. Make sure to try one of their 18-plus specialty pizzas. They offer a variety of handcrafted pizzas, each one a testament to their love of quality and flavor. You can order online at uccellos.com. Looking to secure your property with a great look and top quality fencing? Trust Superior Fence and Rail, West Michigan's premier fencing installer. Superior Fence and Rail is proud to support West Michigan sports and communities because they are locally and veteran-owned right here in the Grand Rapids area. They install fences year-round and have limitless customization options and top-quality fencing on all materials. Check out their website and reviews at superiorfenceandrail.com or give them a call today at 616-319-9969 to learn more. That is Superior Fence and Rail. 4th down and 10. Granville 26-yard line. Davison leads by 2 with 1:05 to go. Granville trailed by 3 scores in the 2nd quarter. Now down just 2. Points, that is. Dosh from the gun. 4 total touchdowns in the first half. And the Bulldogs and Emery Moody jump offside. They'll turn 4th and 10 and a 4th and 5.
Cardinals going to get some of that sack yardage back right there, make this a 4th rather, and more manageable. See now the play call from the Cardinals. Going to get changed formation here, and the Bulldogs now going to have to try to find the defense to match it as the playbook now more open. Just 5 yards to gain.
2 wide set as Coakley will act as a tight end off the right. 4th down and 5. Bulldog 21-yard line here. Jackson Dosh off the roll. Firing for Hughes. Incomplete. Bulldog defense gets a stop again. Back-to-back stops for Coach Zenner's defense. Great 2nd half adjustments. A minute to go in the 3rd quarter, and Granville's offense driving to take the lead. Would you believe it?
And again, bringing some pressure there on 4th down. That time, I believe it was Reed Graverson breaking through the line, forced the early throw by just a half second. Dosh had to lay that one out there before his receiver had fully turned to look back and find the football. A big stop just inside and just outside the red zone for the Bulldogs defense, and gives their offense a chance to take the lead.
Graverson got tied up. I think it was Ron Myers, the center, or maybe Dunaway, the left guard, at the end of the play as well. Out of the tee from their own 21-yard line, Granville goes back to work. Breaking up the middle, it's Hardiman. The sophomore races to the 40 and lowers the head into Trey Heido to the 42-yard line. Hardiman running free for the first time in the ball game. All the momentum right now to the maroon and gold. Well, the maroon and gold home side, I should say.
Yeah, Hardiman had just 20 rushing yards on the night, but doubled his total right there. That one goes for 21, and starting to see some signs that this Bulldogs offense in the running game is starting to wear on the Cardinals defense.
Here's Newville. Single high safety is Jackson. Sadinsky up the middle on 1st and 10. Warren Kane, the one that shoves him to the turf after a gain of 4 on 1st down ahead to the 46-yard line. Good grinding run right there from Easton Sadinsky, who continues to be the starring back in this Granville offense. Couple touchdowns for Jaden Terry, too, but a really great performance for Sadinsky as Terry has been, of course, and for good reason, well focused on. The Bulldogs are going to let the 3rd quarter clock run down, and they're going to take us to a break. Granville down 2 and driving, looking to complete the comeback in this one from Bulldog Stadium. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
Car Center is an automotive collision repair company with multiple shops throughout West Michigan.
Our goal is simple: to bring hospitality to the collision repair industry.
You can find us online at carcentermi.com to find the location nearest to you. Because at Car Center, fixing cars is our job.
But helping people, that's our business.
We're back. Fourth quarter of play here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. The Bulldogs to work, down a couple of scores. Grinding run. Jayden Terry stays on his feet right up around the first down marker. Able to turn nothing into a whole lot of something, and that is going to be about 9.5 yards on first down. There is a Bulldog down, and it is DJ Hardiman at the bottom of that pile. So Hardiman a little shook up at the end of things right here, and he will get checked on by the coaching staff. And as the staff is working on Hardiman, we are going to step aside and take a
67 horsepower, candy red, 8 cylinders of freedom. And to think, he only let me drive it once. I've never considered myself to be a lucky man. That would be Dad. He didn't know a thing about cars, couldn't tell a hatchback from a quarterback. But somehow his just kept going, and going, and going, and going. Turns out Dad wasn't lucky. He just knew where to.
All right, we'll break back into the action. DJ Hardiman off the field. Jeremiah Morales comes in his place as the Bulldogs will move the chains off the Terry run. Fake handoff, and Newville throwing down the field. Sadinsky, that time very well defended by Trey Heido in coverage down the field.
Yeah, Newville rolling out, had some time to survey the field. Saw Sadinsky, but the coverage very good. As you mentioned, Heido right there. Newville put the ball in a pretty good place, but Heido able to reach in there and knock that one free before Sadinsky could bring it in.
2nd and 10, Hardiman back into the ball game here for the Bulldogs. From the 46, plus out of the field, down 2. Newville. This is a stretch to Jaden Terry, cutting it up with speed to the 41-yard line. Jaden Terry starting to look like himself a little bit right now. It'll be a 3rd down and medium here for the Bulldogs. 3rd and 3, the mark.
You can tell some of those runs that were going for 1 or 2 early on, now starting to go for 5, 6, 7 yards right there. It's so big after the incompletion on first down. That run there now gets you back on schedule. 3rd and 3, much more manageable. A nice gain there on 2nd down.
With 11 minutes to go in the ball game, Granville spotted Davison 3 scores in that first half. This is Terry, and he'll push the pile for the first down. Need 3 yards, give it to 28, because we've seen it work before. Jaden Terry right now, like you just said, those runs that were getting completely stymied, he's getting that extra push. The offensive line getting some momentum as well. Maybe starting to wear down this big front. Jaden Lockhart will go back to the sideline right here defensively. Griffin Ostrander will come into the middle of the defense in his place. 1st and 10 for Granville, up to the 37-yard line. Newville, a stretch to Sadinsky, trying to find some space, but Caleb Sharkin wraps him up before he's able to turn the corner for a loss of a yard. Great play by the experienced outside senior linebacker.
Sadinsky trying to find his way all the way, stretching the field to the left side. Never able to get around the edge that time. Never able to turn that one upfield. Really well done on the outside.
2nd down and 11 now off the loss of a yard for Sadinsky. They will motion Jaden Terry. And the Bulldogs were the ones that jumped early on that one. So some motion on the left side of the line. I believe it was Wiley that went first there for the Bulldogs. And 2nd 11 turns into 2nd and 16 and closes that playbook down a little bit more.
just looked like the miscommunication there as to what the snap count was going to be and what the call was going to be for the motion, as Newville motioning Terry out of the backfield, Wiley expecting that to be the snap.
So now back to the 43, and they got to go 16 yards on second and down as Jayden Terry again motions to the slot. They run it with Hardiman, shaking upfield for the first down. They motion and get that defense thinking left with the fake handoff to Sadinsky and the motion of Terry into the slot, and Hardiman shakes his way free. The sophomore now starting to feature into the run game a little bit more. 1st and 10 to the 25.
For one of the few times tonight, you could really see the middle of the field open up right there. Hardiman spins off a tackle initially, but then has a lot of room. Picks up the first down after they were backed up.
9:42 to go in the ball game. It's been all Granville in this second half. Jayden Terry shut down, maybe gets a yard again. Braden Bundy. Been very impressed with Bundy, by the way. I mean, to step into the shoes of a player the level of Harriman, who was maybe the top linebacker in the state a year ago, he has been very impressive in the middle of this defense. It was the one question mark we had, a new look linebacking core for this Davison team. He and those linebackers have been very good at shutting down really anything inside the tackles.
Yeah, they've been doing a good job of replicating some of that production, getting some physical play out of their linebackers to back up that big D line.
This will be a 2nd and 9. The Dogs up to the 24-yard line. Sadinsky, nowhere to go. Snowed under after maybe a yard. It's Caden Nicholson on the first contact. 3rd down and 7 will be the mark. 3rd and 7 here for the Bulldogs. I think it'll actually be a 3rd and 8 on the official mark. 8.5 to go. 2-point game. You wonder a little bit also where Jake Karenan's leg is going to be right here for the Bulldogs. A 3rd and 7 will be the mark as it goes to the 22-yard line. 3rd and 7. Down a couple of points here for the Bulldogs. Driving effectively, but starting to get stonewalled on the outside of the red zone here. Newville, quick give. Hardiman up the middle, pushes over the 20, down to the 19-yard line. That, to me, feels like a play call from Coach Stiegel. Nope, they're going to kick it. Granville will go for the lead with Karen in here. That was a quick turn from Stiegel, too. He immediately trusted the senior's leg.
Yeah, I have to imagine Coach Stiegel, knowing the range of his kicker, wanted those extra couple yards, feels comfortable now for where the football is at to attempt this one instead of trying to convert it.
It will be a 35-yarder for Jake Karen. We had a 50-yarder missed by Davison and Ferguson earlier. Granville will go for the lead. Low snap settled, right leg through the ball. It looks good for Karen. It's pure. Granville takes the lead. What a strike through the ball by Karanen, and the senior gives the Bulldogs the lead.
Yeah, no hesitation from Coach Stiegel, and his kicker rewards him for it right there between the uprights. Nice kick, able to take the lead for the Bulldogs, and after they were down multiple scores in the first half, to have the lead here, really big for the Bulldogs. Just like last week, now the defense responsibility falls on them. They've done their job here in the second half to allow the offense to get back in it. Now can they hold the lead?
A 35-yard strike. Coach Stiegel talked very highly when we talked to him in our preseason interview about Jake Karanen, of course, as a punter and a kicker, or a kickoff specialist as well, and moving to the punter role this year. But that one was pure, and I think he had a little bit more leg than 35 that he could put into that one as well. And also, good job to Newville settling a low snap as well. 7.5 to go in the ball game. From down 21 to up 1. Granville has come all the way back in this football game. And it will be Karanen to send it away. Granville's defense has gotten back-to-back stops. This one's out of bounds, as it was a low driver down the sideline, as Granville continues to do whatever they can to keep the ball away from Cortez Porter and Wesley Hughes. So the Cardinals will get to start from the 30-yard line. They have been stopped on back-to-back possessions, and they have not scored in the second half. What a turnaround defensively. And, of course, you know, there was so much talent on that roster a week ago for Pickerington North. There wasn't a full assessment on where things are at, but the second half adjustments from defensive coordinator Casey Zenner, if you're looking at maybe why Granville made this hire, along with the energy he brings, a former collegiate level coach at Western Michigan, played at Ferris State, played under Ralph Munger at Rockford, Defensive coordinator Zenner certainly winning the second half adjustment battle right now. It will be the 35-yard line on the mark right here as the Cardinals are going to spread it 5 wide to begin this one. Porter in motion. He'll get it on the sweep. Tracked down right back to the line of scrimmage by Garrett Naraki. Braylon Haney was shadowing as well. 2nd and 10. Big hit to Porter, who is a little slow to get up. I think also part of the problem is, I believe, the chain gang got taken out by that big hit thrown on Cortez Porter as well. We got some Granville tough people out there. They're right back up after the hit, and we're back underway. 2nd down and 10 coming up here for the Cardinals after this official's timeout to get things set. So 2nd and 10 coming up. Great job by Granville defensively on that first play of the sequence, tracking it down. We mentioned at the pregame show, Granville so much experience at linebacker. They bring back the same 3 they had a year ago. And boy, those triplets have been very, very good today.
Yeah, getting those 3 guys back on the field full time, no doubt a massive impact for this Bulldogs defense that's looking to make a lot of improvements from a year ago, and you're already seeing it week to week here. Having those guys as leaders out there, really strong in pursuit, physical tacklers, can definitely lead this defense.
Davison will stick with the adjustment and spread the field here on 2nd down and 10. Dosh settles. Here comes the pressure. Granville sent it all. Hughes is unable to pick that one off the turf. If he did, it'd be a loss of a yard. They actually are going to rule he caught it, and it will be a loss of 1 and a 3rd and 11. Everybody coming again. Granville's adjustment is to bring the house on Jackson Dosh.
Yeah, it sure is. And actually, the Cardinals had a perfect play call right there. They had the screen set up, but the pressure just got there too fast. The blitz, multiple 3-4 defenders for the Bulldogs in the face of Dosh. He had to loft it and try to put too much touch on it.
Now they will rule the pass incomplete, and it will go back to the 35-yard line where this started. 3rd down and 10. Granville's defense looking for a 3rd straight stop. They've got the lead, 29-28. Dosh will shift things around as Hill is back in the backfield for the 3rd down play. Here comes the pressure. Dosh fires it short, incomplete. 4th and 10. Jaden Brown made the diving attempt at the INT. How about this Granville defense, Chandler, in the second half?
It's been night and day difference, and right there, again, Dosh hit from the backside. I believe Jayden Terry was in there as one of the guys. He was kind of met from both sides, but a strong rush once again, forcing a quick throw and an underthrow.
Offense is staying out there. Coach Weingart's going to roll the dice with 7:03 to go in the ball game, trailing by 1. Granville's defense will have to get one more stop to make it 3 stops in a row. A 4-wide set and a long call. Davison going to call a timeout out of it. Both teams now with just 1 timeout remaining in the ball game. 7 minutes to go. A huge 4th down play is coming up.
Gear up this season with the MGN Shop, featuring everything from t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats and outerwear, to water bottles, stickers, and other accessories that help show off your style and your support of Game Night, the Granville Bulldogs, and more. To shop, click on the Shop Merch tab at the top of MichiganGameNight.com and browse nearly 50 items. And be sure to check in frequently as new items are added throughout the season. That's the MGN Shop through MichiganGameNight.com.
A game of wild swings is getting closer to its conclusion here at Bulldog Stadium. It was a 3-score lead in the first half for Davison, and then Granville has come storming on back in this one to lead at 29-28 with 7:03 to go. Right now, Jake Karanen, 35-yard field goal. The winning points if the score holds, but I think we've got a lot of action to go. Davison is going to go for it. 4th down and 10 from their own 35-yard line. Dosh will work with a 4-wide set. Here goes the junior. Granville brings the house again. Floats it short to Hill. He's got space. He's got the first. Running in the open field at the 40. Here goes AJ Hill to the 25 and tracked down into the red zone. That time Granville brought the house, but that time Jackson Dosh was able to get that screen set up and he's able to find the 3-star streaking running back and flip the field.
Well, they had the screen set up a few plays ago against the pressure, anticipating it once again. They're on 4th down. This time they complete it, and as soon as Hill brings that one in, he's got a wide open field to run, and a massive gain gets the Cardinals just inside the red zone.
4th and 10 to the 19-yard line now. And a fresh set of downs off a gutsy play call from the Cardinals. Porter in motion. He'll get it off a fake. It'll be kept instead. It's Dosh inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal. Momentum now back with the Cardinals as they're on the outside of the end zone and about to strike back.
Dosh had a lot of success on the ground in the first half. They kind of gotten away from it here in the second, but now inside the red zone, they go back to it. Nice gain there to get it down to the 5.
1st and goal. And the power unit comes in. Just a single wide receiver is Hughes. Extra lineman off the right side here. Give to Hill. Big hole. Stumbles into the end zone. Davison goes back on top.
Quite the 4th down conversion there. A massive play. Completely flips the game. The Bulldogs, they get a stop there. Get a chance on that side of the field, and they can extend their lead. Instead, the screen pass gets them inside the red zone. Finally gets some momentum. They really haven't had any offensive production in the second half, but that jump starts it right there. Gets them in the end zone, gets them the lead, and looking to extend it.
You would assume they will go for it here. Dosh and the coaching staff will get things set. Coach Weingartz has the call in. Here we go. So Davison will go for 2 to get it back to a 7-point ball game right here. They stack them 3 to the right. Wesley Hughes isolates to the left-hand side here. Here's Dosh throwing Hughes' way, incomplete. 34-29. The Bulldogs offense will have it in their hands with 6 minutes to go, trying to win this football game. We'll stay with you through this one. We'll welcome you inside Bulldog Stadium. All right, CT. Back and forth we go. A gutsy play call. Davison gets the points. But if Granville were to choose a unit that they wanted to have the game on its shoulders, it would probably be this offense, the way they've been playing to begin. We said earlier it could be last team that has the ball wins it. And it's looking like it. 6 minutes to go.
That sure is, and it's only week 2, and we've already seen this a couple times now from the Bulldogs offense. Last week, the end of the game, able to take it down to 30 seconds. Ended up not being enough time to hold on there, but then again here in the first half, about 5 minutes to go, it took pretty much the entire clock, drove down, scored a touchdown there to make it a 2-score game. So an opportunity to do the exact same thing right here. 6 minutes, can take a long drive down the field, potentially take the lead with a touchdown.
I can promise you this much. Brock Conkle and the Rockford MSR team are going to have a great one next week, because that's all Granville seems to play in. Ryder Ferguson sends it away. This time it's short of the end zone, and Miguel Rojas will get a chance to bring it back. Rojas has got the 20, and he doesn't have a ton more. He's able to push it to maybe the 26-yard line. So Granville is going to have to go about 3/4 of the field. They've got 6:03 to do it, and I'm sure they would like to take as much of that 6:03 as possible to score. You don't want to get greedy, but a perfect drive here takes about 6 minutes and 3 seconds and puts 6 points on the board to win it.
Yeah, I think for sure. I'd be surprised if they go to the play-action game right away here. Expect them to keep it on the ground, see if they can really grind this clock, get a bunch of chain-moving first downs along the way.
All right, here we go. The Dogs going to work as Hardiman will drag his way before Charkin takes him down to about a yard shy of the first down marker. Good run on first down for 9 there from the sophomore. Slow to get up, one of the defenders for Davison, and that is Charkin. That's a big loss, as he's going to have to come off the field for this play, trying to run his way off, and my guess is he's a really tough kid. He'll be back in about a play or so. 5.5 minutes to go. 2nd down and 1 for the Bulldogs from their own 35-yard line. They're down again now, 34-29. Newville, fake give, and he'll throw it. It's Sadinsky. Snags it again, racing to the 30, reverses field, there he goes, Easton Sadinsky, touchdown, Granville, Dogs back on top.
Like we said, forget the long drive down the field, just go score right away. They hit the play action pass, Sadinsky on the corner route, perfect throw from Newville, right into the hands. And then Sadinsky in the open field, able to make the last defender miss, reverse the field, score the long touchdown. The Bulldogs strike again.
What a day for Easton Sadinsky. Adds another big grab down the field, this one for a touchdown. And the Bulldogs will go for two and look to make it a 3-point lead with 5:10 to go. Newville. Fake give, he'll throw it again. To the end zone, wide open. Who else? Easton Sadinsky. Dogs by 3 with 5:10 to go. We're going to step aside, be right back here from Bulldog Stadium.
Was founded based on the belief that the interests of our clients must always come first.
We listen and understand your objectives before making a recommendation. We customize the portfolio of investments to fit your goals.
It is our commitment to provide a strong line of communication.
Our services include family wealth management, saving for retirement, and estate planning and trust services.
Getting started is as easy as picking up the phone. After all, when everything is said and done, isn't it about time?
It's the final game, folks. This one wins the series.
Struck out with the cheap seats? Important things aren't worth compromising. At Farmers, we offer both quality insurance and great savings. Here, take mine.
We are Farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Game night is presented in part by Farmers Insurance, Bennett Center Agency, for all auto, home, specialty, life, and commercial insurance. See what a center can do for you.
The Bulldogs back on top. It's Sadinsky through the air this time from Newville. And Jake Karanen gets us back underway. He'll send this one into the end zone. There's just a bit of a left to right breeze across your screen, and I think we've seen that one play a very big role in what the kickers have been able to do, putting the ball through the back of the end zone. 5:10 to go. And here comes the Davidson offense. It was a gutsy move last time down the field. They threw a screen on 4th and 10 against the blitzing Bulldog front. They were able to flip the field and score on it. They then give up a quick score, but their offense is back in position right here. Both these coaches really like what their offense is bringing to the table, and both offenses continue to get a chance to try to be the winning pieces right here. Defensive coordinator Casey Zenner. I said it on my interview with Coach Stiegel. He's crazy in all the right ways as a defensive coordinator, and he's getting his guys fired up right now. He stands at that 25-yard line on the near sideline. 5:10 to go in the ball game. Davison freshly back down, now a 3-point game. And here comes Jackson Dosh in this offense. Too wide and a little bit more power being shown. AJ Hill riding blockers to the 30, cutting to the 35, on his feet and reverses and dives to the 39-yard line. They're bringing an extra blocker or two in right now, and they're starting to get a little bit more space to run with AJ Hill. 5 minutes to go in the ball game.
AJ Hill has not really been featured much on the ground. He's done his damage through the air. That's his longest run, 19 yards right there on first down. And we'll see if that's going to be part of the Cardinals' attack, some of the pressure that they were seeing from the Bulldogs.
Fresh slate here for the Cardinals from the Bulldog 39-yard line. Again, two wide set. As they're showing some power. And this is Hill again, riding blockers again for 6 on first down before Naraki and Kroll neutralized him. 4.5 to go in the ball game. 37-34 Granville. Davison driving. That was going to be a gain of 7 on first down. Marks the 46-yard line. Again, tight end, H-back, both to the right side here. Out of the gun is Dosh on 2nd down and 3. This is Hill again. He's got another first. He's got space again over the 40-yard line. Granville going to have to find a way to adjust right now to stop the future Ferris State Bulldog.
Yeah, a couple big gains on the ground. That time, Bulldogs bringing pressure from the left side, and the Cardinals have the right play call. They're running to the right and away from it. Big hole again for AJ Hill to run through.
Clock ticking on down as well. Davison doing a little bit better job than the Power T offense did of killing some clock to score points right here. From the Granville 46-yard line, trailing by 3. Bulldogs with a 4-down front coming. Here is Dosh, and again AJ Hill. He'll cut it to the 35 and inside to the 34-yard line. Haney on the stop. That time Granville had him running horizontal a bit at least, but he's able to put that foot in the ground and get a good chunk on first down and get about half of it. This will be 2nd down and 5. 3:12 and less to go. That clock ticking right now. Two teams that certainly will live up to their billing. As we said earlier, whoever loses will be the best 2-loss team in the state of Michigan, and neither team deserving to lose this one with the way it's been played. A.J. Hill busting off tackles and staying on his feet before Kroll was able to trip him up right up around the marker. The line to gain was the 30, or just past the 30. It's going to be 3rd down and a yard, less than a yard right here for Davison. 2.5 to go. 3rd and 1 from the 30. Clock continues to tick as Davison's using it all, down 3 right here. Could be a perfect walk-off winning drive again against the Bulldogs this week. Dogs with a single high safety. Here is Hill. Shut down. Reed Graverson and Garrett Naraki lay the lumber. 4th down.
Really big combo tackle there from two of the linebackers that have really been excelling all night long. Naraki and Graverson hit him right at the line of scrimmage, drive him backwards, keep that distance the exact same. Going to be 4th and 1. Things get really interesting now. The Cardinals exclusively keeping the ball on the ground so far here for the most part in this drive. See if they want to keep it on the ground on 4th and 1 even after they just got shut down.
Granville by 3 with under 1:40 to go by the time this is snapped. 4th down and 1. They're going to go to the power eye right here. Everybody loads in, muscle on muscle. Turn, give, Hill. He's got enough to move the chains. Lowered that head in a big hole. He follows Ben Nichols. I would certainly do just that. 1:25 to go. Davison keeps it moving.
A couple times we've seen that power formation from the Cardinals. It's been the quarterback sneak. That time they turn and give it to the running back, but it gets the necessary yardage. Gain at 3 and picks up the big 4th down once again for the Cardinals.
Jaden Terry's out there for the Bulldogs defensively. 1:12 and less to go. Davison taking their time for sure. Both teams with 1 timeout remaining. From the 28-yard line, here's Dosh throwing and caught by Wesley Hughes, wrapped up by Naraki to the 25-yard line. 57 and less to go. Davison now getting to a point where they got to go maybe just a touch quicker than they have been before they wind up looking to Ryder Ferguson in a tying situation. They want to win this one, though. 45 seconds and less to go. 2nd down and 7. Here's Dosh to Hill. Stuffed. Nowhere to go. Inside of the Granville defense. Winning again on that one. It was Wyman making the first touch. It is a 3rd down and 7 with inside 30 seconds to go. 1 timeout remaining. Third and 7, 24-yard line. Fake give. Dosh with the pressure in his face, lobbing it, caught by Coakley. Touchdown, Davison, with 5 seconds on the clock. The Cardinals go back on top.
Well, it sure felt like the Cardinals were killing a lot of time right there, but I think they had the play call that they knew they wanted right there. Coakley wide open on the corner route. Dosh, again, extending the pocket backwards and then rolling a little bit to his right, buying just enough time to float that one over the top. It's looking like for the 2nd week in a row, Bulldogs going to suffer a late defeat.
5th total touchdown for Jackson Dosh. And the Dogs on the brink of heartbreak again here tonight. Ferguson add the extra point. And that one is good. 41-37. With 5 seconds on the clock. And Granville with simply a hope and a prayer, 1 offensive play. Maybe you trust Miguel Rojas on the return right here. Granville's defense, they had it to the 4th and 1. The muscle, able to move the chains for Davison. And the Cardinals have the Bulldogs on the brink of And a pretty unbelievable 0-2 record, quite frankly, with the way that these two games have gone. So Miguel Rojas is back to the 5-yard line. He will be on the return here. It looks like the 3-hour trip is going to be a fruitful one for Davison as they're on the brink of their first win of the season. Granville will, it appears, be looking for that next week at Rockford unless they have one last miracle to pull out of the pocket right here. Ferguson will low drive it with 5 seconds. Rojas will let it go. So the Granville offense will set it up right here, Chandler. Pass play to Easton Sadinsky.
It's been pretty successful on the night. We'll see if they can hit it one more time right here. Not a lot in the playbook, I have to imagine, for these situations, but Coach Stiegel, can get creative with some of his formations. We'll see if he wants to break one out right here, give a new look to the Davison defense, maybe catch him off guard, beat some of that coverage down the field. Of course, not going to be able to just run a Hail Mary or anything like that with this situation, so you're going to need some sort of trick play here to get behind the defense.
Bulldogs will need a miracle as Davison's got a couple of deep safeties and for the first time back into their normal, more dime-type defensive package. Jaden Terry will motion before the final play of the ball game. It'll be Newville to throw. The pressure coming over the middle. Overthrown. 1 second on the clock. They have another chance to send it down the field.
Yeah, that play pretty broken from the beginning. Pressure immediately in the face of Newville, and pretty smart there just to launch that one across the middle of the field, and he knew that one likely not going to be completed. The only saving grace, you do have 1 second remaining, so you do get one more shot at it.
One more chance for a miracle. Here comes Ethan Newville with a call in from Coach Stiegel. Looking to avoid an 0-2 start with a pair of final 5-second heartbreakers. And Davison will call their final timeout to reset things right here. The Bulldogs have one remaining. Welcome inside Bulldog Stadium. I can't believe it. Back-to-back weeks we see this. The Bulldogs rally from 3 scores down to have the lead. And this one, this one felt so much different than last week's too, because that was the onside kick and those elements going into it. This was a hard fought. The second half, Granville's defense coming up big. That 4th and 10 conversion winds up really being the difference in this ballgame, because Granville was about to run the clock out or probably go up a couple of scores after that, but instead 4th and 10 on your own side of the field turns into 1st and 10 from the 19-yard line for Davison.
Yeah, no doubt that's going to be a huge deciding play in this one. And the Granville defense had all the momentum in the world. They had gotten a couple stops, had him in a 4th and long situation, been bringing a lot of pressure. The Cardinals able to dial up the right play call and completely switch the momentum.
All right, 1 second. This will be the final play. Sadinsky will split out to the right. Terry will split out to the left. Newville to pass. Here comes the pressure over the middle. It is caught by Terry. Lobs it over to Sadinsky. Play staying alive. Here we go. Bruker throws it back out of the reach of Key, and it's in the hands of Hardiman. Now Jaden Terry. Down he goes. Not able to get it out, and that's the winner for Davison. Granville tried to keep it alive at the end, but the Cardinals come back. 5 seconds to go. It's another heartbreaker for the Bulldogs, a team that is 0-2, but my goodness, does that record not indicate at all what this football team has been through the first couple weeks of the season. I don't think 1-1 indicates what Davison is, though, either.
Yeah, no, definitely. Both these teams showing that their 0-1 record not going to be a problem. They're both really good football teams out here competing here tonight, and for the Bulldogs, another devastating loss, and one that they felt like they had once again, and an 0-2 start based on the schedule was not impossible, but they've been so close in both of them that's going to make it hurt just that much more. But still a lot of big games on the schedule, a lot of time to try to turn this around, and it's not been for a lack of effort or talent or being in the football game whatsoever. And even though that doesn't really count for anything in the win column, it still has to be some sort of positive sign for the Bulldogs.
Well, it's not going to get any easier next week on MSR as the Bulldogs have to travel to Carlson Munger Stadium and take on the Rams. It's an 0-2 start for Granville. They fall in this one 41-37. We've got a ton to get to. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the MGN Shop postgame show.
outnumber humans by like 1,000,000 to 1. So who are you giving your blood to? The humans or the mosquitoes? It's us versus them. And I think they're winning. So donate blood with Versity Blood Center of Michigan today.
Have you ever thought about a career in metal manufacturing? Today, careers in robotics, product development, engineering, and IT are just some of the few of the outstanding careers available. There are hundreds of businesses in West Michigan looking for people just like you and are willing to provide the training you need. Go to youarehired.pma.org or click on the PMA logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage. There's an opportunity for a lifelong career, and it's in your hands.
Are you having a hard time hearing tonight's game? Hi, I'm Brock Conkle from Michigan Sports Radio, and after putting it off for many years, I decided to contact Miracle Ear and get my hearing tested, and sure enough, had significant hearing loss. The friendly staff at Miracle Ear fitted me with hearing aids, and life is so much more enjoyable being able to hear the things that I've been missing. Go to miracle-ear.com to schedule your free hearing evaluation. There's a location near you.
All right, folks, welcome back here, MGN Shop Postgame Show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer on game night on Michigan Sports Radio, where the Bulldogs did it again. And by that I mean they overcame a 3-score deficit to take the lead, and then they also gave up a score inside the final 5 seconds to lose it. A team that is sure being faced with some adversity, with a tough schedule to begin. I think we've seen how good this team is, and it doesn't get any easier. They go to Carlson Munger Stadium. This team's going to be battle-tested before they take on one of the best, maybe the best team in the state of Michigan in Rockford. We'll welcome you inside the press box here at Bulldog Stadium. And CT, I'll hand it over to you first to take a look through some of the stats from this ballgame before we take a look back at some of the highlights.
All right, we'll start with the Bulldogs. Through the air, Newville had 6 completions for 166 yards. Through the air to Sadinsky, 4 of those completions, 133 yards. Jayden Terry had 2 for 33. On the ground, Terry 20 carries for 79. Hardeman 11 carries for 72. Sadinsky also over 100 yards on the ground. He had 19 for 154. On the Davison side of things, really impressive game through the air there as well. Dosh had 21 completions for 351 yards. Naves had 7 for 86. Coakley had 68 yards. Porter 49. Hughes 89. Hill 59.
Wow.
On the ground, took a while. They got things going more in the second half on the ground, but Hill had 15 carries for 69 yards. Dosh, 10 carries, 51 yards.
All right, let's take a look here back at some highlights from that second half. There's certainly a lot of them to look back at. Let's take a look at these Granville scores. Let's actually start with what set up a score. This unbelievable play, the very first play from scrimmage in the third quarter, it was Sadinsky fumbling the snap and then somehow just, it was Newville fumbling the snap and then somehow just finding Sadinsky down the field. Fumble right away. Newville will throw it down the field to Sadinsky, caught at the 50, and he's got it in enemy territory. What a saving play from Newville and Sadinsky there. That would all set up Jayden Terry doing what Jayden Terry does best. He punched it in to get the Bulldogs within a score. Scores the defense with a crowd in. Hardeman in the middle of Jayden Terry and Easton Sadinsky. This is Terry, and standing up into the end zone, the Bulldogs within a score. Touchdown number 6 on the... Jayden Terry then would strike again. Granville after this would not be able to get the 2-point conversion, so they'd still trail by a couple of scores, but it was Terry with a very impressive weaving touchdown run right here in the late third quarter. Davison, a stretch to Jayden Terry. He'll extend it to the 15. He'll cut to the 10. On his feet, touchdown, Jayden Terry. Somehow staying up and finds his way to the house. Bulldogs, a 2-point conversion. Absolutely ridiculous, as always, there from Jaden Terry, who again visits Notre Dame tomorrow afternoon for their game, along with Ben Nichols, the terrific left tackle for Davison. Then Granville had a long drive, stalled out. They trust Jake Kiernan, who nailed it from 35 yards to give the Bulldogs their first lead. It will be a 35-yarder for Jake Kiernan. We had a 50-yarder missed by Davison and Ferguson earlier. Granville will go for the lead. Low snap settled, right leg through the ball. It looks good for Kiernan. It's pure. We definitely learned, though, Jake Kiernan, his leg could be a big factor down the stretch. He would have been good from 40+. I think with that one, AJ Hill would then score for Davison, but after that, it was kind of the play of the game. It was an unbelievable play and a great one from Easton Sadinsky, but it also winds up being the deciding factor in some regards, because Granville might have scored too quickly because Sadinsky pulled off such an incredible play off the pass here from Newville. Fake give, and he'll throw it. It's Sadinsky. Snags it again. Racing to the 30. Reverses field. There he goes. Easton Sadinsky. Touchdown. Granville. Dogs back on. And then, with 5 seconds on the clock, Peyton Coakley winds up making the Bulldogs pay and winds up darn near walking it off. 3rd and 7, 24-yard line. Fake give. Dosh with the pressure in his face. Lobbing it. Caught by Coakley. Touchdown, Davison, with 5 seconds on the clock. The Cardinals. It all adds up to 41-37. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the MGN Shop postgame show. We're going to hand out awards, tell you what's coming up next week on game night.
Gear up this season with the MGN Shop, featuring everything from t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and outerwear, to water bottles, stickers, and other accessories that help show off your style and your support of game night, the Granville Bulldogs, and more. To shop, click on the Shop Merch tab at the top of MichiganGameNight.com and browse nearly 50 items. And be sure to check in frequently as new items are added throughout the season. That's the MGN Shop through MichiganGameNight.com.
All right, welcome back here, MGN Shop postgame show. Thanks as always, of course, to the Bennett Center Farmers Insurance Agency and Centennial Securities. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer wrapping this one up. A couple awards to hand out. Let's start with the Car Center hit of the game. There were a few options to go with this one, but let's go for one that it just about was a game-determining play, but it was 3rd and 1, and Granville sent a couple linebackers led by Reed Graverson able to get to the football. Naraki was in there too. A huge hit to stuff AJ Hill on 3rd down. This, if Granville was able to get that stop on 4th down, would have been a game-determining sort of hit. Dogs with a single high safety. Here is Hill. Shut down. Reed Graverson and Garrett Naraki lay the lumber. 4th down.
Really big combo tackle there from.
So that the Car Center hit of the game, and then we just saw it. Let's take a look at it again. We move on now to our Centennial Securities play of the game. Centennial Securities is focused on offering our clients the best investment products, services, and advice. They provide recommendations and customized investment solutions specifically designed and customized for you and your unique goals. Check them out online at centennialsec.com. And this is our Centennial Securities play of the game. It's pretty obvious. It's Peyton Coakley. 3rd and 7, 24-yard line. Fake give. Dosh with the pressure in his face. Lobbing it. Caught by Coakley. Touchdown, Davison, with 5 seconds on the clock. The Cardinals go. What a play it was, and let's wrap it up with our Bennett Center Farmers Insurance Agency player of the game, sponsored by Farmers Insurance Bennett Center Agency. Like I said, the player of the game, and the Center Agency is for all auto, home, specialty, life, and commercial insurance needs. See what a Center can do for you at 616-980-4949. Bennett Center Agency, new in Wyoming, and our one of our new presenting sponsors for 2024 CT player of the game. If the Bulldogs won, it obviously would have been Easton Sadinsky the game he had, but how about Jackson Dosh? 5 total touchdowns. He was under some duress in that second half, and he found a way to make the plays.
Yeah, he did. Multiple scores through the air, multiple scores on the ground, 350-plus passing yards, over 50 yards on the ground. Did a little bit of everything. They did a really good job of keeping him mobile and getting him outside the pocket and letting him make some throws, even though he was under a lot of pressure, especially in that second half. The Bulldogs turned up the intensity. He was getting hit. He was getting chased, but still was able to find his guys down the field. Multiple scores.
Next week on game night, early next week, just one podcast next week. We're going to do Dog Pod. We'll have an interview on that. We'll break this down. We'll, of course, preview Granville Rockford. No MGN broadcast. CT and myself are going to be off for next week with other scheduled things. So we're off next week, but Granville, of course, back in action on Michigan Sports Radio. They travel up to Carlson Munger Stadium. The Bulldogs will take on Rockford, and Brock Conkle and the Rockford crew will have the call of that one. Another wild one here today and another heartbreaker for the Bulldogs back-to-back weeks. It's unfortunate because I think the next time we're going to see the Bulldogs live is going to be like week 8 now. We'll have a lot of games on Michigan Sports Radio between now and then, but we have not been the good luck charms to begin. We'll see if maybe the Bulldogs get things figured out in the middle part of the season when we are off on our West Shore game of the week coverage. For Chandler Timmer, everyone at Michigan Sports Radio, Michigan Game Night, I am Nate Dreyer signing off. Davison to 1-1 on the year. A gutsy win out of the Cardinals. The Bulldogs drop to 0-2 with another heartbreaker here at Bulldog Stadium.